Chapter 456. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. _6. Xianxia laughed and said, Auntie, I'm not that high maintenance, staying in a dorm is fine. No way. Xiao Jiao shook her head. There are too many people in the school, it would be troublesome if you bumped into someone. I've hired 2 servants in that small villa, they'll take care of your daily needs. After all, what Xianxia was carrying in her belly was her first grandchild. How could Xiao Jiao not put importance on it? Xianxia then said, Auntie, you really don't have to go through so much trouble. It's settled then, you don't need to refuse. Xiao Jiao directly shoved the key into Xianxia's hand. Xianxia knew that it would be ungrateful to refuse at this point, so she laughed and said, Thank you, Auntie. We're family now, there's no need to be so polite. Xiao Jiao continued, As for the school, we've already arranged your leave of absence. The wedding will be taken care of by me and Baichuan's father. During this period, you just need to focus on your pregnancy. Thank you, Uncle and Auntie. Xiao Jiao held Xianxia's hand and talked a lot more. Xianxia knew how to make people happy. With a few words, Xiao Jiao dropped all her prejudices. From an angle where Xiao Jiao couldn't see, a glint of triumph flashed in Xianxia's eyes. She finally entered the doors of the Mo family. The news of Mo Baichuan getting married to Xianxia spread throughout the entire upper-class society in less than a day. Mo Baichuan getting married? Upon hearing the news, Zheng Xianjing was devastated. What the hell is going on? Didn't Mo Baichuan just dump Xianxia? How could they be getting married in the blink of an eye? Is she dreaming? Zheng Xianjing pinched herself hard. It hurt a lot. She wasn't dreaming. No. She couldn't just sit around and wait for death. She had to take action. Zheng Xianjing narrowed her eyes, grabbed her bag and headed downstairs. As soon as she got down, she saw Zheng Lingling rushing in from outside. Xianjing. Something terrible happened. Zheng Lingling grabbed Zheng Xianjing's hand, looked around and said, Let's go inside to talk. Okay. Zheng Xianjing nodded. The mother and daughter went inside. Zheng Lingling closed the door. Xianjing, Baichuan and Xianxia are getting married. I already know about this. Zheng Xianjing seemed relatively calm. Mom, don't panic, they're just getting married. As long as they're not married yet, I still have a chance. Zheng Lingling frowned. It's not as simple as you think. What do you mean? Zheng Lingling continued, I went to the Mo's this morning. Your grandma Mo quietly told me that Xianxia is pregnant. What? Zheng Xianjing's face turned pale. Pregnant. She never imagined that Xianxia would get pregnant. No wonder they are in such a hurry to get married. So it turns out there's a bun in the oven. Didn't they just break up a few days ago? How could she get pregnant so quickly? That little bitch Xianxia, how could she be so shameless? Zheng Lingling sighed, how smart she is. She knows the principle of mother being noble by her son. Why didn't we think of this method? If she had known about the principle of mother being noble by her son, she should have tried to get Zheng Xianjing pregnant. Zheng Xianjing was nearly suffocated, with mixed feelings in her heart. It took her a great deal of effort to find out who Mr. Mog was, and now the prize was snatched away by someone else when it was nearly in her grasp. Mom, what if Xianxia's baby were to accidentally be lost? Would she still have a chance of marrying into the Mo family? Zheng Xianjing hatched a plan and turned to look at Zheng Lingling, her eyes filled with malicious intent. Xianxia gained nobility by her child? If there's no child, how could she be noble? Zheng Xianjing wouldn't let anyone steal the throne of Mrs. Mog. Zheng Lingling narrowed her eyes. Xianjing, you mean? Zheng Xianjing nodded. Zheng Lingling continued, this matter sounds easy, but it's not so easy to do. Once we're discovered, we'll be in big trouble. At this moment there was a knock on the door from outside. The mother and daughter immediately stopped talking. Who is it? The voice of the servant came from outside. Madam, it's me. Someone on the phone is looking for Miss Xianjing. Who's looking for me? Zheng Xianjing asked. She was not in mood to take a call right now. The servant continued, Mr. Mog. Mr. Mog? Could it be Mo Baichuan? Zheng Xianjing brightened up and immediately said, I'll come down right now. Zheng Xianjing came downstairs and carefully picked up the phone. Hello? But the voice that came was not Mo Baichuan's, but a deep and mellow voice, as if the person was speaking right beside her. Miss Zheng, hello. Who are you? Zheng Xianjing frowned slightly, losing much of her enthusiasm upon realizing the caller wasn't Mo Baichuan. The other side chuckled, It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is that I can help you. Who exactly are you? Zheng Xianjing was getting impatient. I don't have time to play riddles with you. As I said, I'm someone who can help you. I don't need your help. Saying this, Zheng Xianjing was about to hang up the phone. But the person on the other end, as if knowing that Zheng Xianjing wanted to hang up, continued, Miss Zheng, don't be in a rush to hang up. I know a secret about Li Xianxian that no one else knows. About Li Xianxian's unknown secret. Of course Zheng Xianjing wanted to listen. Go ahead. There was another chuckle from the other end. Miss Zheng should understand that there is no such thing as a free lunch, right? What do you mean? Quid pro quo. He continued, 30,000 yuan for Li Xianxian's hidden secret. 30,000 yuan is not a small sum. Currently, the financial power was still in the hands of old lady Zheng. It would not be easy for Zheng Xianjing to get the money. Zheng Xianjing remained silent, her eyes thoughtful. The person on the other end of the phone continued, strike the snake at its weakest point. This secret is Li Xianxian's weak point. Miss Zheng, don't you want to take a gamble? Or do you want to just watch Li Xianxian marry Mo Baichuan? Regardless of whether the secret was Li Xianxian's weak point or not, the mysterious man's words successfully hit Zheng Xianjing's weak point. She absolutely could not let Li Xianxian steal Mo Baichuan away. Who are you exactly? Zheng Xianjing narrowed her eyes. Why should I believe you? Chapter 457. Zheng Xianjing took the bait, making money to support our Mr. Mo's family. _1. Zheng Xianjing was not a fool. She could not just believe in the authenticity of this man's words based on one phone call. What if he was a scammer? 30,000 yuan was not a small sum. She was the honorable young lady of the Zheng family. If word got out that she had been scammed, what face would she have to show in her circle? Miss Zheng doesn't believe me? I don't even know who you are, how do you expect me to believe you? Zheng Xianjing retorted. The man chuckled, the chance to overthrow Li Xianxian only comes once, whether or not you can seize this opportunity is up to Miss Zheng. He added, my surname is Mo. If Miss Zheng trusts me, please send 30,000 yuan to Qingyi Detective Agency within 10 days. With that, he abruptly hung up the phone. Zheng Xianjing looked at the disconnected call, looking confused, she quickly dialed back, only to find the line was busy. Xianjing, who was that on the phone? Zheng Lingling came down from upstairs. Just a casual friend. Zheng Xianjing calmly replied, scanning the surroundings, then continued, Mom? Boo. Just then a figure suddenly jumped beside them, pulling a scary face. The mother-daughter pair was significantly startled. Especially Zheng Lingling, her face turned pale and she reached out to hit Zheng Suyu. Catching sight of the old lady Zheng at the top of the stairs, her expression changed, she giggled, Aunt Suyu, you're all right? Xianjing and I didn't scare you, did we? Zheng Suyu grinned foolishly, fun, so much fun. Zheng Xianjing took Zheng Suyu by the arm and said, Aunt Grandma, let me take you back to rest. Zheng Xianjing turned into a considerate niece, helping Zheng Suyu upstairs. Stars, such beautiful stars. Ghost. You're a ghost. You want to hurt me. Zheng Suyu suddenly screamed and shoved Zheng Xianjing away, running towards the old lady Zheng's room. A ghost wants to hurt me. Watching help. Aunt Grandma. Impatience flashed in Zheng Xianjing's eyes as she chased after her. Suyu. Old Mrs. Zheng opened the door, reaching out to hold Zheng Suyu's hand. Zheng Suyu hid behind old lady Zheng, visibly trembling, her eyes filled with terror as she looked at Zheng Xianjing. A primal fear radiating from within her. Strangely enough, ever since Zheng Suyu lost her sanity, she saw everyone as a ghost, except for old lady Zheng. She could even remember her name. Grandma. Zheng Xianjing respectfully said. Old Mrs. Zheng nodded, looking at Zheng Suyu. Don't be afraid, Suyu, this is Xianjing. Do you remember Xianjing? She is your great niece. Zheng Suyu was on the verge of tears, her voice trembling as she said, Ghost? She is a ghost. Old Mrs. Zheng sighed, holding in a severe cough. Xianjing, your Aunt Grandma is like this, don't take offense. Zheng Xianjing acted understanding. Grandma, I know we are all a family, how could I blame Aunt Grandma? Cough, cough, cough. Old Mrs. Zheng couldn't hold back her coughing, she covered her mouth with a handkerchief, coughing violently. Grandma, are you okay? Zheng Xianjing started patting old Mrs. Zheng's back. Zheng Suyu, frightened, retreated several steps, hiding under the table, warily looking at Zheng Xianjing. Old Mrs. Zheng was coughing so hard her face turned pale. After a while, her coughing stopped, she continued, It's nothing, just an old ailment. After 3 years of coughing, old Mrs. Zheng had become accustomed to it. However, her condition in recent times was far worse than in the previous 2 years. She always felt her end was nearing. but she kept telling herself to persist. Her daughter was still missing. Zhang Suyu hadn't recovered. In this state, even in death, she wouldn't be able to rest in peace. "Madam, Dr. Jiang is here." A servant entered with an elderly person. Dr. Jiang was a woman in her 50s or 60s, an old friend of old Mrs. Zheng. With her excellent medical skills and old Mrs. Zheng's trust in her, she had been serving as the personal doctor for old Mrs. Zheng, helping her regulate her body over the years. "Aunt Jiang." Zheng Lingling immediately greeted her. Dr. Jiang nodded. "Lingling, where's the old lady?" Zheng Lingling looked at Dr. Jiang. "My mom is upstairs, I'll take you to her." "Okay." Dr. Jiang nodded. Chapter 458. Zheng Xianjing took the bait, making money to support our Mr. Amo. _2. As Zheng Lingling ascended the stairs, she turned to Dr. Jiang and said, "Dr. Jiang, my mother's cough has gotten worse recently. As a daughter, it breaks my heart to see this. Can we do anything to relieve her cough and speed up her recovery?" Dr. Jiang replied, "Your mother's chronic cough, compounded by her old age and deteriorating health, won't improve overnight. It requires gradual treatment." Zheng Lingling nodded her agreement. As they climbed up the stairs, she took the initiative to steady Dr. Jiang's arm. "Mom, Dr. Jiang is here." Zheng Lingling knocked on the door. "Come in," came Mrs. Zheng's voice from inside. Zheng Lingling entered the room with Dr. Jiang. "Xiaoyan." Mrs. Zheng rose to meet them. Zheng Xianjing followed suit and greeted her. Dr. Jiang nodded in acknowledgement, then turned to Mrs. Zheng with concern. "Aching, I heard from Lingling that your cough has worsened." Laughing, Mrs. Zheng said, "It's not as bad as Lingling has made out." Zheng Lingling looked at Xianjing and suggested, "Xianjing, let's take your great-aunt out so that Dr. Jiang and Grandma can talk." "All right." Xianjing squatted down gently. "Great-aunt Suyu, shall we go out?" "You are a devil. You want to hurt me." Suyu burst into tears, terrified. Zheng Lingling squatted down, coaxing, "Aunt Suyu, shall we take you out for some candy?" "Yes." Suyu brightened up. "Candy? Candy." Mother and daughter cajoled Aunt Suyu and managed to lead her out. Mrs. Zheng heaved a helpless sigh. Dr. Jiang inquired, "Didn't a self-proclaimed divine doctor who could cure Suyu come a while ago?" "From my observation, Suyu's condition hasn't improved at all." Recalling something, Mrs. Zheng burst out, "Divine doctor, my foot. He was nothing but a fraudster." Upon hearing this, Dr. Jiang patted Mrs. Zheng's hand reassuringly. "Suyu has her own fate. She will surely recover." "I hope so." Mrs. Zheng sighed again. Dr. Jiang continued, "By the way, Aching, have you heard anything about Tingting lately?" "No," Mrs. Zheng shook her head. "It has been over 30 years. It wouldn't be that easy to find her. To be frank, I've given up hope." Dr. Jiang glanced at Mrs. Zheng, a hint of knowing sparkle in her eyes. "No hope? Then why did she secretly send Hair for DNA testing? What old friends? What lifelong sisterhood? It's all a facade. If Mrs. Zheng considered her as a dear friend, she wouldn't keep secrets from her." Dr. Jiang narrowed her eyes subtly. "Although you say that, you should still continue your search. After all, Tingting is your biological daughter. Lingling, despite being raised by you, isn't your flesh and blood." The proverb, "Our own children are our precious jewels," holds truer than ever. Dr. Jiang glanced at Mrs. Zheng, changing her tone. "But speaking from my heart, Lingling is an exemplary and filial daughter, who cares deeply about your health every time I visit." Mrs. Zheng nodded. "Indeed, Lingling is a good daughter." Dr. Jiang extracted a stethoscope from her medical bag and began to examine Mrs. Zheng, changing the topic. "Aching, have you been taking your medicine on time recently?" "Yes, always on time." Dr. Jiang continued. "Has your toilet routine been normal?" "Yes, normal." After asking a few more questions, Dr. Jiang's smile faded. A look of concern clouded her face. "Is my condition bad?" Mrs. Zheng looked at Dr. Jiang. "No." Dr. Jiang shook her head. "Don't worry too much, you're in good health." Mrs. Zheng wasn't a fool. She had already perceived the answer from Dr. Jiang's expression. "Xiaoyan, I'm now in my 60s and have weathered many storms. You can tell me straight, there's no need to tiptoe around it." "Really, it's nothing." Dr. Jiang smilingly responded. "Aching, you worry too much. I remember when you were younger, you would always fight and make a fuss with Zheng Jun because of this." Upon mentioning youth, Mrs. Zheng's face lit up with a faint smile. She appeared lost in old memories, as if back in those days. Back then, Tingting was still here. Suyu hadn't gone mad yet. Their family was so happy. Chapter 459. Zheng Xianjing takes the bait, earning money to support our Mr. Mo's family. _3. Dr. Jiang continued, "Oh, speaking of which, where is Zheng Jun? He should be in the Xiaohua garden." Zheng Jun is a typical scholar, tending to his books and plants every day. All domestic matters, big or small, were taken care of by Madame Zheng. Especially after their only daughter went missing, he practically stopped caring about everything. "How many years have passed?" Dr. Jiang sighed. "He's still the same. You've broken your heart for this family while he behaves as if nothing's wrong. If not for Madame Zheng, the family would have fallen apart long ago. He's suffering inside. Their only daughter was lost and the youngest sister went mad. No one knows the agony Zheng Jun suffers beneath his placid facade." "He's suffering? You tell me, aren't you suffering too?" Dr. Jiang continued. "You really are lucky, Zheng Jun, to have such a wonderful wife." Madame Zheng chuckled. "Xiaoyan, be honest with me, how's my health really? I've lived long enough to bear pretty much anything." "You're really fine, stop overthinking," Dr. Chao said while writing out a prescription. Madame Zheng turned to Dr. Jiang. "Xiaoyan, do you remember how old Lingling was when you first brought her home?" Dr. Jiang gave it some thought. "She was around 7, I think. I remember you had just lost Tingting, and Lingling's arrival helped you out of your grief." Zheng Lingling wasn't originally a Zheng. Her name was Chao Lingrui, Madame Zheng's sister's daughter. A plane crash took away both of Lingling's parents. The disaster came so suddenly that Madame Zheng didn't even have time to bid her sister and brother-in-law one last goodbye. Not even their remains were found. Fortunately, Zheng Lingling wasn't on that plane. After the disaster, Dr. Jiang crossed half the Pacific to bring Lingling to Madame Zheng's side. Both of them, one lost her parents and the other lost her only daughter. Having shared this sympathetic experience and being kin, Madame Zheng transferred all her affection from her biological daughter to Lingling. She would welcome others with a smile in the day, like nothing was wrong, and would only sob in silence when the night was deep and still. Yes, Madame Zheng looked out the window, an indescribable look in her eyes. It's been 33 years in the blink of an eye. Lingling has grown up and Xianjing is now 19. I don't have any more reservations. Aching, you need to continue searching for Tingting. Dr. Jiang patted Madame Zheng's hand. Well, let fate decide. Dr. Jiang continued, Aching, at least you're better off than me, you have a daughter. Even though Lingling isn't blood-related, she's so devoted. What about me? I fear when I die no one will even know, just like Ms. Zhang. Ms. Zhang is a renowned figure in their circle. She was very modern and romantic in her youth, pursuing the spiritual world. She never married and died at 55 from a sudden heart attack. She fell into a coma in her villa, and because there were no relatives or friends nearby, she wasn't rescued in time, resulting in her death. Her death was only discovered a week later when the smell of her body started to permeate. Older people without family or children tend to overthink and live in constant fear. That won't happen. Madame Zheng comforted Dr. Jiang and patted her hand. Stop thinking nonsense. You still have your thoughtful nephews and nieces. Dr. Jiang sighed. Aching, I've recently thought about drawing up my will. Drawing up a will? Madame Zheng looked unbelieving. Dr. Jiang was her age, about 61 this year, but was much healthier and had no known illnesses. Even she hadn't yet thought about drawing up her will. Why was Dr. Jiang doing so? Outside the door, Zheng Xianjing, holding a tray with tea, was about to knock and enter. She stopped in her tracks and held her breath, listening to the conversation inside. Dr. Jiang chuckled. Honestly, I don't have much money, just a 5-figure number in my bank account, which is nothing to you. Dr. Jiang is an average doctor without a distinguished background. She was just an ordinary person before meeting Madame Zheng. Though it's just a few 10,000s of yuan for an ordinary person, it's still a huge sum. After all, a bowl of noodles only costs 3 cents at this time. Speaking of which, Aching, have you ever considered drawing up a will? Dr. Jiang asked. Accidents happen when you least expect them. Given the size of Zheng family fortunes, it's better to plan these things in advance. Chapter 460. Zheng Xianjing took the bait, making money to support our Mr. Mo. _4. Hearing this, Zheng Xianjing's heart jumped into her throat. Madame Zheng nodded. To be honest, I've been considering this matter recently. Dr. Jiang said, you don't really need to think about this. Tingting is your biological daughter. All the Zheng family's property should naturally go to her. Zheng Tingting? A cold light flashed in Zheng Xianjing's eyes. This Dr. Jiang was certainly a troublemaker. Zheng Tingting had been dead for hundreds of years. Why mention her now? Madame Zheng laughed. Lingling is also my daughter, I can't leave all the property to just Tingting. I've decided if we find Tingting, he'll split the wealth equally, half for Tingting and half for Lingling. They're both my daughters, I want favor one over the other. Madame Zheng was a good mother. Although Zheng Lingling wasn't her biological daughter, she raised her with her own hands. In her heart, Lingling made no difference from her own birth child. So she would treat them fairly. Dr. Jiang smiled. Lingling is fortunate to have such a good aunt. In my heart, she has long been my own daughter. Own daughter? A mocking glint flashed in Zheng Xianjing's eyes outside the door. If this old witch seriously thought of Zheng Lingling as her own daughter, then she wouldn't be leaving only half the property to Zheng Lingling. After all, the one who's been by Madame Zheng's side all these years showing filial piety was Zheng Lingling. Zheng Tingting hasn't contributed anything, she didn't even call her mother. Why is she entitled to half of Zheng Lingling's inheritance? All of the Zheng family's property should belong to Zheng Lingling. Adopted ones are never as close as real ones. Zheng Xianjing bit her lip, her face darkened. Dr. Jiang continued, Qing, we must be prepared for all scenarios. What if you can't find Tingting? Madame Zheng continued, if we can't find her, he'll donate all the money to the orphanage in Tingting's name. This could also be seen as accumulating blessings for the child Tingting. Donate to the orphanage? Madame Zheng would rather donate it to the orphanage than leave it to Zheng Lingling, such a good mother indeed. Zheng Xianjing was almost furious to death. So all these years she and Zheng Lingling's efforts were in vain. This old hag is an ungrateful wretch. At the moment, all Zheng Xianjing wanted to do was to barge into the room and splash the hot tea in her hand all over that old witch's face, to wake her up. Otherwise she would never know right from wrong. Dr. Jiang nodded, Qing, you've thought it through. The conversation inside was still going on, but Zheng Xianjing had heard the most important part. She hurried back to her room, telling Zheng Lingling everything she had heard. Upon hearing the news, Zheng Lingling said coldly, I knew that old witch wasn't easy to deal with. After all, she wasn't born from the old hag's womb. No matter how good she was to that old witch, she wouldn't pay it back. But Zheng Lingling couldn't make peace. What? She had been serving this old witch so carefully for so many years. And in the end, it turned out that she had to compete with a dead person for property. How ridiculous. Mom, what should we do now? Zheng Xianjing was getting anxious. She didn't want to give up what was hers to someone else. Zheng Lingling said, we don't need to rush on this matter. The immediate concern is how to stop the wedding of Li Xianxian and Mo Baichuan. Once you're married to Mr. Mog, that old witch won't dare to look down on us. Zheng Xianjing nodded, Mom, you're right. But what should I do now? The issue of Li Xianxian and the will were entangled together, and it made Zheng Xianjing's head swell. Zheng Lingling said, we need to think it through. Getting Li Xianxian to miscarry isn't easy. As if remembering something, Zheng Xianjing said, oh yes, Mom. She told Zheng Lingling about the phone call from Mr. Mo. Mom, what do you think? Zheng Xianjing was still undecided. She didn't know whether she should believe that Mr. Mo. Zheng Lingling squinted her eyes. Xianjing, how about we take a gamble? Mom? Zheng Lingling calmly took a sip of water. If we win the gamble, you can marry Mr. Mog. If we lose, we'll just be out 30,000 yuan. Spending 30,000 yuan to buy the ultimate honor is worth it. Chapter 461. Zheng Xianjing took the bait, making money to support our Mr. Mo. _5. After all, the temptation was simply too great, and Lingling didn't want to miss out on such an amazing opportunity. After all, didn't life sometimes require a gamble? Just like back then. If she had not taken a chance then, would she have what she has now? Xianjing followed up, saying, but where are we going to get all that money? The absolute control over the Zheng family's finances now lay in the hands of Granny Zheng. She gave Lingling 8,000 yuan every month, while Xianjing only got 5,000. This many thousands of yuan is money that regular people could work years for and still not make, but among the wealthy, it's just pocket change gone in a few rounds of mahjong. Lingling and Xianjing, the mother and daughter with big spending habits, would each spend 500 to 600 yuan every month on skincare products. With the addition of jewelry purchases and such, their money would be gone almost as soon as they'd gotten it. Where are they going to round up 30,000 yuan now? Lingling answered, don't worry about the money, I'll figure out something. Mom, do you have some hidden stash of money? Lingling didn't answer Xianjing directly, instead saying, Xianjing, were you not just about to take some tea to Granny and Granny Jiang? I'll go with you so I can check on how Granny's health is doing. Xianjing picked up on faint footsteps outside the door and said with a smile, "Okay Mom, you don't need to worry, Granny will be fine." The mother-daughter duo walked out the door to take tea to Dr. Jiang and Granny Zheng. Dr. Jiang gave Lingling a list of food that Granny Zheng should avoid and daily practices she should pay attention to before saying her farewells. Lingling said with a smile, "Dr. Jiang, let me see you out." Xianjing didn't exactly get along with Dr. Jiang. Ever since she had heard the conversation between Dr. Jiang and Granny Zheng, she disliked Dr. Jiang even more. It baffled her why Lingling was so nice to Dr. Jiang. "Xianjing, come with me to see Dr. Jiang off." Lingling turned to Xianjing. "All right." Xianjing obediently followed Lingling. Dr. Jiang laughed very kindly and said, "Back when Xianjing was just a baby you could hold in your arms and now she has grown into such a lovely young lady." Lingling asked, "Xianjing, do you remember when you were a baby that Granny Jiang used to hold you?" Xianjing laughed and said, "That was so long ago, how can I possibly remember?" Lingling seemed dissatisfied as she glanced at Xianjing, but Dr. Jiang seemed unbothered and said, "Oh, it's not a big deal, children have short memories." Lingling said, "It's fortunate that you're not picky with her." When they got to the door, Dr. Jiang stopped, "This is far enough." She then seemed to recall something and took a bottle of medicine out of her bag. "I almost forgot. This medicine is very effective against coughing. Lingling, just put half a pill in the chicken soup when you're making it." Lingling very solemnly took the bottle and said, "Thank you for your trouble, Dr. Jiang." Dr. Jiang laughed and said, "Your mother and I have been as close as sisters for many years, there's no need for such courtesy." Lingling continued, "Dr. Jiang, are you free tomorrow morning? I have a friend who isn't feeling well and I want to bring her over tomorrow." "Sure, I'll see you tomorrow morning then." "Goodbye, Dr. Jiang." Lingling pushed Xianjing. "Say goodbye to Granny Jiang." Xianjing carelessly said, "Goodbye, Granny Jiang." As soon as Dr. Jiang left, Lingling scolded Xianjing angrily, "Xianjing, this is a warning. From now on, you will not disrespect Granny Jiang." Xianjing sniffed dismissively and replied, "What's the point in you being so nice to her? You don't know what she says about you behind your back." Dr. Jiang clearly wasn't a good person. "She said one thing to your face and another behind your back." Lingling breathed out a sigh and gravely said, "Regardless, Granny Jiang is your elder. Remember to show her respect." "She's hardly an elder." Xianjing muttered, "More like a shit-stirrer." Lingling's expression darkened. "Xianjing, do you remember who you are?" "Sorry Mum, I was wrong." Lingling carried on, "Do you know that if you keep acting like this, people will say that you have no manners?" Xianjing responded, "Mom, I only act like this around you, I never act this way around other people." Lingling sternly said, "You're not allowed to behave this way around me either, habits form naturally." Chapter 462. Zheng Xianjing took the bait, making money to support our Mr. Imo. _6. "Oh, I understand now, I want Dare to do it again." Zheng Xianjing still had a decent attitude in admitting her wrongs, so Zheng Lingling didn't say much more. She turned around and walked into the house with Zheng Xianjing. Just as they entered the house, Zheng Lingling busied herself with making chicken soup for the old Madame Zheng in the kitchen. Zheng Xianjing was speechless. After all that old hag had done to them, she couldn't believe that Zheng Lingling was still so nice to her. She must be out of her mind. Phrase. In her opinion, she should replace all the medicine in the bottle with poison and kill that old hag. Anai Yang walked out of the public phone booth, the corners of her mouth curling into a light curve. Her dimples, shallow and charming, seemed to absorb everyone around. Her radiance outshone even the clouds in the sky. She walked all the way to the detective agency. Xiaozhou was currently fiddling with an old-fashioned phonograph, completely unaware of Anai Yang's arrival. "Is it not working?" Anai Yang approached Xiaozhou. Startled by the sudden comment, Xiaozhou turned to see Anai Yang and broke into a smile. "It's not exactly that it doesn't function, it's just that the sound produced seems off, like a saw being drawn." "Let me have a look." Anai Yang walked to the front of the phonograph. This was a very ancient phonograph. With its swan neck-like bend and large horn, it resembled a blooming trumpet flower, prideful and elegant. The large horn was made of pure copper, highly wear-resistant and non-fading. It was perfectly complemented by an elegant, traditional wooden cabinet. This type of phonograph originated from the Republic era. A few of them could still be found in the 1980s in China. In later generations, they all became precious antiques only seen in museums and with collectors. In her former life, Anai Yang didn't have many hobbies. Collecting phonographs was one of the few. She fiddled with it for a while, put on the disc, pressed the start button, and instantly, melodious music flowed from the large horn. The night in Shanghai, the night in Shanghai, you are a city that never sleeps, the lights are up, it's all song and dance. Xiaozhou exclaimed in surprise, that's amazing. Yang, you're really something. You even know how to repair phonographs. In these times, the most popular gadgets were radios. All the trendy boys and girls had radios in their hands, with a pair of earphones plugged into their ears. They couldn't have looked cooler. Earphones entered China around the end of the Qing dynasty when telegraph machines came into existence. Now, hardly anyone bothered with big, heavy, old-fashioned gadgets like phonographs. Xiaozhou sometimes found it hard to figure out Yang. This girl, younger and slimmer than him but far more capable, seemed to harbor many secrets. Yang laughed lightly, it's not that I'm amazing. It's just that I've studied it a bit. Xiaozhou walked over and poured Yang a cup of water. Yang, you must have something important to discuss, and that's why you came over, right? Yang took the cup with both hands. You guessed it correctly. Xiaozhou grinned and asked, what's up? Tell me about it. Yang took a sip of tea. In the next few days, someone might send some money to Mr. Mog. When they do, just tell them he's out, you'll take care of the delivery but keep the money for me. It wouldn't be appropriate for her to handle this in person, so Xiaozhou would have to help. Sending money to Mr. Mog? Yang nodded slightly. This Mr. Mog, is you? Xiaozhou asked further. It's me. Yang replied with a smile in her eyes. Xiaozhou couldn't resist teasing, are you getting married and following your husband's title? Yang answered with a faint smile, I suppose you could say that. Turning his eyes to the screen, Xiaozhou cleared his throat and continued, the rumors about Imochi-shan are not good, Yang. Are you sure you want him to be your boyfriend? Yang retorted, what others think doesn't matter to me. If I like him, that's enough. She genuinely didn't care. Reborn in a new life, she wanted to live life to the fullest and not be bound by restrictions. She wasn't willing to miss out on the people she loved because there wouldn't be another life after this. But once Imochi-shan leaves the Imo family, he's nothing. Xiaozhou went on, Yang, you're so outstanding. You deserve someone better. Imochi-shan was known for his worthlessness, idleness, and even a broken engagement, totally ruining his reputation. Xiaozhou was somewhat puzzled, why was Yang interested in him? Yang said very seriously, in my eyes he is the best. Xiaozhou added, do you know why Zheng Xianjing and Li Xianxian both want to marry Imo Baichuan? I don't know. Yang shook her head. Next, Xiaozhou shared, according to my investigation, there is a high possibility that Imo Baichuan is actually Mr. Mog. Now do you understand why they're scheming to marry Imo Baichuan? Oh. Yang nodded. Just like that? What did that, oh mean? Why was Yang's reaction so calm? Don't you find it surprising? Xiaozhou asked. Why should I be surprised? Yang quirked an eyebrow and asked back. Xiaozhou shot back, this is Mr. Mog. Do you understand what Mr. Mog represents in Beijing? I understand. Yang responded, it pretty much means, supreme and unparalleled, doesn't it? In the future, Mr. Mog's existence was still very mysterious, with a business empire under his control. He was respected and sought after by all. But it was weird that no financial newspaper had ever published anything about him. Yang was taken aback that Imo Baichuan turned out to be Mr. Mog. No wonder Li Xianxian was determined to marry him. Since Li Xianxian was reborn from a later era, she might have uncovered some secrets unknown to others. Knowing this, why are you still so calm? Xiaozhou was at a loss. Yang shrugged, whether or not he is Mr. Mog doesn't concern me. Should I react dramatically? Xiaozhou continued, when it comes to talent and looks, both you and Mr. Mog are head and shoulders above Li Xianxian and Zheng Xianjing. I think only you are worthy of Mr. Mog. Aren't you interested? Yang, who had just taken a sip of water, almost choked upon hearing this. She spat out all the water in her mouth onto the ground. I'm not interested in him at all, so don't talk nonsense. Xiaozhou replied quite seriously, but I really do think that you and Mr. Mog are a good match. Yang retorted, I'm only interested in Imochi-shan. Is that clear? She didn't really care about Mr. Mog or any of his titles. What Yang found puzzling was that the narcissistic Imo Baichuan turned out to be Mr. Mog, which totally overturned her understanding of him. It was quite inconceivable. Xiaozhou thought Yang was just too strange. She would rather become involved with a loser uncle than look at a promising nephew. Xiaozhou pointed out, but Imochi-shan isn't deserving of you at all. He doesn't even have a job, hasn't even graduated from high school. What will he support you with in the future? It doesn't matter if he doesn't have a job. I have money and that's enough. I can support him. And Yang replied directly. Chapter 463, I am Mr. Mog _1. And Yang is a very pragmatic person. She knows that most of the reasons for breakups between men and women in this world are rooted in the trivialities of life. All love ultimately disappears in these trivialities. However, as long as one's financial condition keeps up, all problems are no problems. If the woman is weaker in terms of finance, her status in family life will be inferior. If the woman takes up the major economic role, instantly the tables can turn. This is also the main reason why Yang doesn't rely on men. Because there's no better sense of security than relying on oneself. Therefore, she doesn't think there's anything wrong with her supporting Immortal. Xiaozhou felt that his whole worldview was being overturned by Yang. She supports him? Yang is actually going to support Immortal. If you look all over Beijing, you probably won't find a second woman willing to support a man, right? Yang, you're not joking with me, are you? Xiaozhou swallowed and turned to look at the screen. Yang's eyes were indifferent. What's there to joke about? When you really fall in love with someone, you're willing to give everything for them. Invisibly, Xiaozhou was being shown up by Yang and suffered a huge romantic blow. Why is he still alone? He also wanted to find a girlfriend who was willing to support him. Whimper. Yang laughed and said, It's normal for you, a bachelor, not to understand all this. When you have a girlfriend, you'll understand my words today. Bachelor what? Dog. He already felt pitiful enough for being single, why did she call him a dog? Xiaozhou was heartbroken. If he's the bachelor dog, what is Yang doing? Killing the dog? Yang spoke too quickly for a moment, and accidentally used a popular phrase from the future, and quickly remedied it with, a bachelor, aren't you single? Bachelor? Did he mishear out of sadness? Yang, didn't you just say a single dog? Yang laughed. Xiaozhou, are you stupid? Who would call themselves a dog? Xiaozhou touched his head, although what Yang said seemed reasonable, he felt something wrong. But he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Xiaozhou temporarily forgot about the dog question and continued, Yang, you're not joking with me, are you? You really want to support Immortal? Yang raised her eyebrows slightly, do I look like I'm joking? Xiaozhou shook his head, his gaze unconsciously sliding from the screen, no. He then continued, but don't all you girls like men with power and status like Mr. Mog? Xiaozhou had seen all sorts of people. He had even seen girls at the age of 18 throwing themselves at men of 80. Mo Baichuan was not only rich and handsome but also the famous Mr. Mog. Yang had no reason not to like him. Yang frowned slightly, you're generalizing with your statement. Actually, not every girl likes men with power and status. Yang had seen too many girls in her previous life who'd rather laugh on a bicycle than cry in a BMW. Some girls are even willing to give their lives for the one they love. Such girls must be rare, right? Xiaozhou said. Yang smiled slightly, I suggest you go back and read the stories of Wang Ping and Shui Baochai, as well as Liang Shambua and Zhu Yingtai. Stories come from life and these characters do have historical prototypes. You can't deny their existence just because you haven't seen them yourself. Xiaozhou was momentarily stunned, a touch of shame appeared on his face. Indeed, he had thought too narrowly of girls. He certainly couldn't deny their existence just because he hadn't seen them. It seemed like every time he chatted with Yang, he was imparted with different life philosophies. She was like a treasure trove of knowledge, always bringing surprises. There was a hint of respect in Xiaozi's eyes when he looked at Yang. Yang, you're right. Xiaozhou continued, oh Yang, can I ask you another question? Yang nodded slightly. Xiaozhou said, what do you like about Immortal? Yang touched her chin, probably because he's good-looking. Immortal's appearance was beyond reproach. And he was far more alluring than popular movie stars. If he were in the future, he'd be the kind of person who could live off his looks. Xiaozhou? He probably won't be able to get married then. Why did he have to ask such a heart-wrenching question? Chapter 464, I am Mr. Mog _2. Xiaozhou turned his head to look at the screen. Yang, chuckling, asked, why are you always looking at the screen? Hiding a beauty behind it? Xiaozhou touched his nose. No, it's just that I think the patterns on the screen are fascinating. Yang nodded with an ambiguous smile. Oh, I've got to go, I have some errands to run. Remember to collect money for me. Where are you going? Xiaozhou instinctively asked. And Yang responded without looking back. To make money to support our Mr. Mog at home. Xiaozhou. He also wished someone could support him. After Yang left, a tall, slender figure emerged from behind the screen. The dim light cast a layer of mystery on his distinct facial features, making it hard to read the expression in his narrow eyes. Buddy, you're quite lucky with ladies. Xiaozhou walked over to Qishan, patted him on the shoulder and said, even without a high school diploma, you attract people. What's more, someone is even willing to financially support him. For goodness sake. Comparisons are odious. Jealous. The man turned his eyes slightly and revealed a breathtaking face. His tone was deep as if soaked in ink. Not jealous, I'm green with envy. Understand? Xiaozhou stared at Qishan, gritting his teeth. Xiaozhou and Qishan were friends from primary school. But Qishan was so brilliant that they only studied together for 1 year before Qishan skipped a grade to go to junior high school. Although they only had a year of formal education together, they amassed a profound friendship. In the years that followed, their bond became even stronger. Xiaozhou completed junior and senior high school, and even made it into a prestigious university. But Qishan seemed to lose his stride. He began to fall behind academically in junior high school, paid his way through senior high, and finally even dropped out before graduating. He disappeared for 4 or 5 years in between, then remained the same, living off his family's resources, idle, and ultimately even lost his fiancée. From a genius to a waste, it was a classic tale of self-destruction, and he became a joke within elite circles. As Qishan's best friend, Xiaozhou felt pity for him on numerous occasions. But now he envied Qishan immensely. Freaking hell. Despite all his hard work, he didn't have a girlfriend. And Qishan not only had a girlfriend but a girlfriend who was willing to support him financially. Freaking hell. Comparisons are odious. Earlier it was because of Qishan being there that Xiaozhou deliberately probed Yang. He even told Yang that Baichuan was Mr. Mog, but she seemed unaffected. Qishan hadn't expected his woman to love him so much. He knew he had chosen correctly. Xiaozhou continued, but the most surprising to me is your grandnephew. He seemed unassuming but turns out to be the famous Mr. Mog. That's just too incredible. Mr. Mog. Xiaozhou had never imagined that Mr. Mog would turn out to be his good friend's grandnephew. Qishan's facial expression remained unchanged, but his eyes hinted heavily, indeed, he's quite impressive. Not just impressive, he's freaking impressive. Xiaozhou continued, your grandnephew is so accomplished you as his uncle have to buck up too. Xiaozhou was a true friend to Qishan, so he spoke without pretense and genuinely cared for him. As he finished, Xiaozhou solemnly added, you're not getting any younger. You can't go on like this. You need to accomplish something to show those who look down on you and mock you. Qishan was a very smart man. Xiaozhou believed that as long as Qishan put in the effort, he would definitely make great achievements. The condition being that he should make an effort. Qishan touched his nose, responding in a lukewarm tone, why should I work so hard? After all, someone is supporting me unlike you who's still single. Xiaozhou. He suspected there was a dog slaughter but had no evidence. After a silence, Xiaozhou expressed his frustration. Don't you want to one-up Zhao Jingrong? He was somewhat perplexed. How had a man once so spirited become so markedly different? Xiaozhou earnestly wanted to know what had happened to Qishan over the years. Why should I bother her? Responded Qishan. I don't even like her. Then Xiaozhou questioned, Zhao Jingrong dumped you, don't you feel a hint of anger? Qishan's mouth curved slightly as he laughed. Correction, I dumped Zhao Jingrong. Chapter 465. I am Mr. Mog _3. To Xiaoza's surprise, as if he had just heard a hilarious joke, he stood on his tiptoes to feel Qishan's forehead. Bro, are you running a fever? Everyone in Beijing knows that Qishan was dumped by Zhao Jingrong, but Qishan claims he dumped her. Isn't that self-deception? Qishan simply smiled without uttering a word. Xiaozhou continued, Bro, you don't have to suffer to save face in front of me. Everyone in Beijing knows that after Zhao Jingrong dumped you, she blatantly boasted about marrying Mr. Mog. Upon saying this, Xiaozhou seemed to suddenly recall something and covered his mouth. Oh my god! Isn't the person Zhao Jingrong plans to marry your grandnephew? Doesn't that screw up the family hierarchy? I wonder if Zhao Jingrong knows yet that Mr. Mog is actually your grandnephew. Wei Jun. Qishan spoke in a light tone. Wei Jun was Xiaoza's full name. He would only be addressed this way when Imo Chishan was extremely serious. What's up? Xiaozhou looked up at Imo Chishan. Imo Chishan continued, actually Mr. Mog is not my grandnephew. Then who is he? Imo Chishan, looking undisturbed, with his sharp features blurred under the dim light, revealed slowly, actually I am Mr. Mog. Upon hearing this, an eerie silence fell upon the room. Ha ha ha. The next second, Xiaozhou burst out laughing, tears streaming from his eyes. He patted Imo Chishan on the shoulders. Bro, are you trying to make me laugh to death so you can inherit my 2 cents worth of assets? This had to be the funniest joke he had heard all year. Mr. Mog? Why don't you say you can ascend to the heavens? Now wait. I think it'd be more likely for you to ascend to the heavens than to be Mr. Mog. Imo Chishan replied lightly, I'm serious. Alright, Xiaozhou patted Imo Chishan's shoulder, you can tell me after all we're brothers. Imo Chishan continued, Wei Jun I am indeed Mog. Chishan, I also have a secret to tell you. Xiaozhou suddenly turned serious. Tell me. Xiaozhou looked at Imo Chishan and continued, Chishan actually I am the Jade Emperor. Whispering he added, I came to the mortal world to endure trials and tribulations. Imo Chishan stared at Xiaozhou as if looking at a deranged person, and spoke with an incredulous expression, that joke isn't funny at all. Xiaozhou responded, so you do know it's not a funny joke? Imo Chishan, I really am Mog. Xiaozhou, I am really the Jade Emperor. Imo Chishan, how was he supposed to respond to that? In the end Xiaozhou added, if you're Mog, elite shit. Imo Chishan didn't respond and just stroked his nose. Xiaozhou gave Mo Chishan a pat on the back. Keep working hard, bro. Snap out of your dreams. Do you know how many people are laughing at you in Beijing? Imo Chishan responded with a small smile, only by doing so can I see people's true colors more clearly. Otherwise you'll never know whether you're surrounded by friends or foes. Xiaozhou rolled his eyes in disbelief. You talk as if you're really Mr. Mog. Sai, did the fact that your grandnephew is Mog affect you? Imo Chishan remained silent and took 4 stacks of bills from his briefcase. This is for you. What is this? USD. Imo Chishan replied indifferently. Considering USD is 8 times the value of RMB, these 4 stacks were worth at least several 100,000 RMB. Xiaozhou was no longer calm. Where did you get so much money? Earned it. Imo Chishan stated concisely, you need money right now, right? This is for you. Even though I really need money right now, I can't accept this. Xiaozhou pushed the money back. Imo Chishan was currently unemployed, this money was surely leached from his both parents, how could he use an elderly couple's money? It seemed that Imo Chishan saw through Xiaoza's thoughts, he added, go ahead and take it, this money really was made by me and has nothing to do with my parents. I really can't take it. Xiaozhou responded adamantly. Imo Chishan picked up his briefcase and stood up, consider it an investment from me. Just remember to share the profits with me at the end of the year. Hearing this, Xiaozhou finally decided to accept. Don't worry bro, I definitely won't let you lose out. But even now, Xiaozhou wouldn't believe that this money was his own. Chapter 466. I am Mr. Mog _4. Imo Chishan did not explain further but only said, I believe you. Good brother. Xiaozhou extended his hand and patted Imo Chishan's chest. A manor in Beijing. In a luxurious room lay a middle-aged woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was voluptuous, her face radiant. If not told, no one would know that she was a woman on her deathbed. She sat up in bed, revealing a weak smile towards the door. Miss G, you've come. Miss G walked in from outside with nutritional supplements, asking with concern, are you feeling better? Thank you for your concern, I am feeling much better. But as soon as she finished her sentence, her face turned pale, her breathing weak. She looked as if she could stop breathing at any moment, a dreadful sight. Miss G was startled, immediately pressing the emergency alarm by the bed. An urgent alarm rang out, several people who looked like doctors ran in from outside, first performing defibrillation, then administering oxygen rapidly. After a series of treatments, the middle-aged woman on the bed gradually regained consciousness, opening her eyes. Miss G, pale from fright, stepped forward and asked, how are you feeling now? Is there anywhere you still feel uncomfortable? The middle-aged woman didn't have the strength to speak, she simply blinked weakly. At that moment, the sound of hurried footsteps came from outside the door, and a tall man rushed in. Mom, are you all right? The middle-aged woman could not muster the strength to reply. A doctor in a white coat said, "Mr. Abner, may we speak with you in private?" The doctor's expression seemed grim. Miss G shot a worrisome glance at the middle-aged woman on the bed. Abner followed the doctor outside. Only then did the doctor slowly start, "Mr. Abner, you must be prepared for your mother's illness." Usually when a doctor suggests mental preparedness, the patient's condition doesn't end well. But Abner had difficulty facing reality. "My mother is only 50 years old. Her life has barely begun. Please try to find another way." The doctor shook his head helplessly. "Your mother is nearing the end. I suggest you start preparing for the end." "Isn't there any other way?" Abner, with a pained expression, said, "I am willing to pay any price if it will allow my mother to live." He had lost his father at a young age. His mother had raised him single-handedly, and just when she finally could have a few good days, she was stricken with a terrible disease. As her son, he felt unbearable heartache. The doctor regretfully said, "If we continue like this, it would only increase the patient's pain. Rather than prolong her suffering, it may be better to let her pass quickly." Abner pressed his temples in pain. "There really isn't any other way?" "No, as doctors we wouldn't stand by while a person dies." The doctor continued, "Suffering from this kind of disease, the pain a patient endures is unimaginable to us. Each breath is like being pierced with a needle, the pain is unbearable. If you truly love your mother, I suggest you allow her to be free from her pain sooner." Abner was silent, a pained expression on his face. After a while he finally said, "All right, I understand. If there's nothing else, I will take my leave." Abner nodded his head. After the doctor left, Miss G immediately comforted him. "Mr. Abner, don't be upset. In China we have a saying that there will be a way when it seems impossible. I believe your mother will get better." Miss G had heard everything the doctor said. Although she believed that Abner's mother was terminal, she knew comforting words were still necessary. "Mr. Abner." A male assistant walked over. "Chinese medicine has broad and profound knowledge. Perhaps you could try hiring a traditional Chinese medicine doctor." The man speaking was Abner's personal assistant, Li Long, a genuine Chinese. Hearing this, Abner seemed to have found a lifeline. He replied, "Then I'll leave this matter to you." "All right." Li Long nodded his head. Miss G said, "Mr. Abner, I think you should consider this carefully." Li Long raised his eyes in surprise at Miss G. Miss G continued, "Traditional Chinese medicine is often conservative and rule-bound. They are not good at innovating. Your mother's illness is quite serious. If they can't treat her successfully and even worsen her condition, it would be a disastrous mistake." At this moment, Li Long even doubted if Miss G was actually Chinese. Chapter 467. I am Mr. Mog_5. How can someone denigrate their own country so much? Li Long said, "Miss G, you're mistaken. Traditional Chinese medicine has been passed down for thousands of years and has benefited countless humans. If traditional Chinese medicine were really as bad as you say, wouldn't China have been destroyed long ago?" Miss G laughed lightly and replied, "If traditional Chinese medicine is really that good, why is it that you can't find a traditional Chinese medicine hospital on every street corner? The few existing traditional Chinese medicine stores are on the brink of closure. Western medicine dominates today, and it is indeed difficult to find large-scale traditional Chinese medicine hospitals in the country." Li Long frowned slightly. "Miss G, what you're saying is simply unreasonable." Miss G said, "Li Long, being patriotic is good, but we must be sensible. Do you realize that your suggestion could kill Auntie?" No matter what, Miss G would not believe in traditional Chinese medicine. Over the years, all her serious and minor illnesses had been cured by Western medicine. She vaguely remembers when she was very young, she also drank extremely bitter Chinese medicinal soup. A simple cold can be cured by Western medicine with just one injection, while traditional Chinese medicine would require a week of specifically prepared concoctions for a slow recovery. This is also why traditional Chinese medicine declined so rapidly. With that, Miss G looked at Abner. "Mr. Abner, do you still want to consult a traditional Chinese medicine doctor?" Abner pinched his temple. "Let me think a bit more." Li Long wanted to say something, but he swallowed his words. After a while, Abner said, "Li Long, go ahead and get a traditional Chinese medicine doctor to give it a try." Miss G turned pale and was about to speak, but she was stopped by Abner's raised hand. Miss G had to shut her mouth with discontent. Li Long was happy and replied, "Yes, sir." The traditional Chinese medicine doctor was brought back quickly, an old man in his 60s or 70s with white hair. Li Long took the initiative to introduce him. Mr. Abner, this is Dr. Wang. Dr. Wang comes from a long line of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners. His ancestors served as imperial doctors in the palace. He has a high reputation in Jianghu City. Miss J's face was full of disdain. What kind of nonsense imperial doctor? If he were so skilled, would the Qing dynasty have fallen? Fortunately, Dr. Wang did not notice Miss J's contempt. Upon hearing that Dr. Wang's ancestors were imperial doctors, Abner's face immediately showed a look of respect, and he said with his accented Chinese, "Dr. Wang, please come this way, I'm entrusting my mother's care to you." Dr. Wang followed Mr. Abner into the house. After examining Abner's mother's condition, Dr. Wang shook his head. "This disease is too strange. I have been practicing medicine for more than a decade, and I have never seen such a strange disease. Not to mention ever encountering this disease, even the medical books of his family did not have any record of it." Upon hearing this, ridicule flashed in Miss J's eyes. She thought he was an incredibly famous doctor, but it turns out he couldn't even diagnose the disease. How embarrassing. Mr. Abner then asked, "Dr. Wang, what do you mean?" Dr. Wang stroked his beard. "You might want to seek out someone more skilled." The light in Abner's eyes dimmed bit by bit. Was there really no hope for his mother's illness? Li Long then spoke up, "Dr. Wang, you're the most skilled traditional Chinese medicine doctor in Jianghu City. If even you can't treat it, who else can we turn to?" Dr. Wang replied, "Thank you for your compliment, but there's always a bigger fish. The depth and breadth of traditional Chinese medicine are vast. Just because I can't treat the disease doesn't mean others can't." Miss G snorted, "I told you long ago that traditional Chinese medicine is outdated, inflexible, and incapable of treating serious diseases. Li Long, you didn't believe me. Now do you see it with your own eyes?" She belittled and dismissed traditional Chinese medicine in her words, infuriating Dr. Wang, who was listening. "Young lady, how dare you speak this way?" Miss G laughed. "Don't get worked up. I'm not targeting you, I'm simply stating facts." "What facts?" "You're insulting traditional Chinese medicine." As a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine, Dr. Wang would not allow anyone to insult it. Miss G retorted, "If traditional Chinese medicine is truly effective, why couldn't you cure Auntie's illness? I'll tell you a hard truth, don't take it to heart. We're now living in an era dominated by Western medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine should have been overthrown long ago. If our people don't strive, sooner or later they will be enslaved. The tragedy of invasion will be repeated. This is due to my personal limitations and has nothing to do with traditional Chinese medicine." Dr. Wang replied, "Since you think Western medicine is so powerful, why couldn't it cure this latest illness?" Miss G was left speechless. Chapter 468, I am Mr. Mog_6. Dr. Wang looked at Mr. Abner and continued, "Traditional Chinese medicine has been passed down for thousands of years in our country. It has created countless miracles and has cured many difficult and complicated diseases. I may not be able to cure Madame's disease, but I am certain someone can. I have an elder brother who is also a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. His medical skills far outstrip mine. Once I return, I will consult my elder brother and other renowned ministers. Can't let the foreigners here look down on traditional Chinese medicine. The connections within traditional Chinese medicine should not be underestimated. With this network I believe we can definitely find out the cause of the disease and cure the patient." Mr. Abner said, "We appreciate your help." At this point all he could do was try. It's better than waiting helplessly for his mother's demise. Dr. Wang said, "You're welcome, this is part of a doctor's duty." Mr. Abner went on, "Li Long, please escort Dr. Wang." "All right." Li Long immediately escorted Dr. Wang inside. Watching the doctors come and go in waves, the middle-aged woman lying on the bed had a dim light in her eyes. "Abner?" she spoke weakly. "Mom?" Mr. Abner immediately ran over. She gripped Mr. Abner's hand tightly. "Let it go, stop treating me, Mom is so tired." She had been treated for a year. Every day she had to endure great pain, she was really tired. "Mom, it's okay. You will get better." Mr. Abner tried to squeeze out a smile. The middle-aged woman closed her eyes, did not speak anymore, her eyes and eyebrows were filled with a dull color. At the Ni family, Ni Yang was busy decorating a new house. The house had been renovated and was mostly furnished. The interior was covered with pure white marble, giving a shiny appearance to the walls. A high-end beautiful crystal chandelier was installed on the ceiling. In the living room, there was a background wall personally designed and painted by Ni Yang. Because it was self-designed, the decoration inside the house was very modernized, which gave Yang a sense of returning to the modern world. She just placed the last pot of pothoes on the coffee table when she heard footsteps coming down the spiral staircase. Looking back, it turned out to be Xiaozhou. Xiaozhou. Yang Xiaozhou chimed while walking. Which decoration company did your house use? This decoration is too beautiful. Simple yet revealing a hint of quaintness, it was particularly beautiful. Yang smiled and said, it was the uncles from the village who helped with the decoration. Xiaozhou continued, I will find them to decorate my home next time. Yang said, sure, I'll introduce them to you. And the painting on the wall is also beautiful. Did you find an artist to do it? The background wall depicted Change's flight to the moon. Although Change was only a silhouette, it was very realistic, and it gave people the illusion that Change was about to fly out of the wall. It showed that the painter was skilled. I painted this myself, Yang answered. Really? Xiaozhou was surprised. Yang laughed lightly, of course it's true. Yang, you're amazing. Even though Xiaozhou knew Yang was very capable, she couldn't help but express surprise each time. Yang was modest and said, so? Oh yes. Xiaozhou finally remembered the important thing, Xianxia has sent the money over. After she finished speaking, Xiaozhou took out 3 bundles of cash from her bag. So soon. Yang was somewhat surprised. This wealthy family really didn't lack money, just one phone call from Xianxia and the money was already delivered. You count it. Xiaozhou pushed the money in front of Yang. Yang split the 3 bundles of cash into 2 parts and pushed one of them in front of Xiaozhou. Xiaozhou was surprised and said, what are you doing? Yang smiled and said, we split this money 50-50. No remuneration without merit. I can't accept this money, Xiaozhou refused. Yang said with a smile, who said you are remuneration without merit? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have earned this money at all. It's a fair split. Yang could not appear in public and it would have been hard to get this money without Xiaozi's help. Yang had always been generous and understood the principle of repaying kindness with kindness. I really can't accept. Both Mo Qixin and Yang didn't seem to care about money and they were all very generous. It appears that the saying birds of a feather flock together really does hold true. Go ahead and take it, Yang said. Or I won't have the nerve to ask for your help next time. Only then did Xiaozhou accept. Yang took out an envelope and gave it to Xiaozhou, then said, could you help me mail this to Xianxia in Mr. Mo's name? Sure. Consider it done. Xiaozhou nodded her head, took the envelope with stretched hand. Aren't you afraid that I will sneak a peek? Since the envelope wasn't sealed, it would be very easy to sneak a peek. Yang continued, if I was worried about you sneaking a peek, I wouldn't have given it to you. Being trusted feels really good. Thank you Yang, Xiaozhou said after a pause. Oh yes, the wedding date for Xianxia and Mo Baichuan has already been set. Chapter 469. Zheng Xianjing seeks out Fuwa father and son _1. They've set a date already? Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. Xiaozhou nodded, maybe they're worried about waiting too long and causing a fuss. The wedding is set for the 18th of this month. Yang nodded less noticeably, a faint smile in her eyes. It was hard to tell what she was thinking. Xiaozhou continued, Mo Baichuan is getting married, shouldn't you as his 6th aunt prepare a big gift? Yang gave a soft smile, of course. Xiaozhou couldn't tell if he was imagining it, but he felt like Yang looked a bit gleeful. Yang, what gift have you prepared? It's a secret. Yang's red lips slightly parting then added, it's getting late. Why don't you stay for dinner, Xiaozhou? With nothing else planned for the evening and a curiosity about Yang's cooking skills, Xiaozhou agreed. As they headed downstairs, Xiaozhou asked, Yang, when are you planning to move in? Yang replied, in a few days once the paint smell in the house has dispersed. Xiaozhou nodded. As they passed through the yard, Yang casually fed a few bugs to the myna bird in the tree. Over the past month, the little bird's uneven feathers had all grown out. The feathers were shiny and stood out brilliantly while nibbling on the bugs. The bird nuzzled against Yang's palm. It couldn't have looked more docile and cute. Even Xiaozhou, a grown man, found his heart softened as he petted the bird's head. Is this bird yours? He asked. The docile bird suddenly turned hostile, lashing out and pecking Xiaozi's hand. Yang laughed, be careful, Duo is pretty aggressive. Hearing this, Duo seemed to understand Yang's words. It flapped its wings and glared threateningly at Xiaozhou as if it wanted to eat him. Riding the momentum of others indeed. Duo? That's its name? Yes. And Yang nodded slightly. Xiaozhou joked, Duo? More like evil bird. Chirp? Duo pecked Xiaozhou again. If you're so tough, do it again. Chirp. Xiaozhou was furious. You evil bird. Try pecking me one more time. And Duo did exactly that, proving it was fearless. Xiaozhou was so angry, he rolled up his sleeves and said, You're going down today. Duo took off into the air and continuously mocked Xiaozhou. The war between man and bird officially began. Yang. A sweet voice suddenly echoed through the air. Suddenly, a lovely girl in a princess dress ran in from outside. Yanran. Seeing who it was, Yang's face softened into a smile. Li Yanran gave Yang a big hug. Yang, I've missed you so much. Yang patted her back and asked with a smile, Where have you been recently? Li Yanran replied, I went to M country. Seeing that the newcomer was a girl, Xiaozhou dropped his bird-killing idea, stood there properly and smiled. And who is this? Li Yanran noticed Xiaozhou. Yang introduced them with a smile. Yanran, this is my good friend Xiaozhou. Xiaozhou, this is my close friend Yanran. Xiaozhou, the perfect gentleman, extended his hand to Li Yanran. Hello, I'm Zhou Weijun. You can call me Xiaozhou just like Yang does. As polite as ever, Li Yanran shook Xiaoza's hand and said, I'm Li Yanran, but you can call me Yanran. Why did Li Yanran look so familiar? Snot sister? Xiaozhou tentatively uttered this childhood nickname. The smile on Li Yanran's face froze. Back when they were kids, since she always had a runny nose, everyone called her Snot Sister. But after primary school, no one had called her that anymore. Not many people knew her childhood nickname. Who was this annoying guy? Li Yanran squinted her eyes and asked, Dimwit? Xiaozhou smilingly said, Yes, that's me. Goodness, Snot Sister, you've changed so much. It's hard to believe. Who would have thought that you would transform from the way you were as a child to how you are now? Xiaozhou looked genuinely shocked. Dimwit, can't you speak properly? What do you mean by, the way I was as a child? How was I as a child? She retorted as if he was suggesting something shameful about her past. Xiaozhou continued, Don't you remember? As a kid, you always had snot bubbles dripping from your nose. That's why everyone called you Snot Sister. Chapter 470. Zhang Xianjing approaches Fua father and son under. Li Yanran spoke irritably, I don't have a runny nose anymore. As a modern woman, Li Yanran didn't want to have anything to do with snot, but this blockhead Zhou kept associating her with the nickname Nose Drip Sister. If others found out about her obscure nickname, Nose Drip Sister, how could she carry on? Although you don't have a runny nose now, you did when you were little. Speaking of which, Nose Drip Sister, where are you now? When did you change your name? I recall you were Li Sanchun before, weren't you? Li Yanran gave a dry laugh. You remembered wrong, I've always been Li Yanran. Li Yanran was indeed originally known as Li Sanchun. Her grandfather personally named her. Later, an aunt who had been studying abroad thought the name was too unsophisticated and changed it to Li Yanran. Did I recall wrong? Xiaozhou scratched his head. I don't think so. You were clearly Li Sanchun, and Yang stepped in trying to lighten the atmosphere. Xiaozhou, you might have gotten it wrong. Let's head that way. I've recently come up with a new dessert, want to give it a try? Sure. After hearing about the dessert, Li Yanran forgot all her discomfort. Peep. Duo flew from the tree onto Yang's shoulder. Wow. This little bird is so well behaved. Li Yanran reached out to pet Duo's head as she spoke. Before Xiaozhou could caution Li Yanran against being pecked, Duo was already rubbing against Li Yanran's hand, like a cat, purring happily. This was strange indeed. Could it be that this often troublesome bird has suddenly changed its nature? Xiaozhou, obstinately unconvinced, reached out to pet Duo's head. Peep. Duo promptly snapped at him. Xiaozhou, damn. The perverted bird. Well done. Li Yanran praised, petting Duo's head. Duo comfortably closed its eyes. Roused by Li Yanran's praise, Duo launched yet another attack on Xiaozhou. Xiaozhou whimpered, Nose Drip Sister, what did I do to deserve this? Did you really need to help this bird bully me? Li Yanran turned to look at Xiaozhou, iterated emphatically, Zhou Weijun, I am warning you. Don't ever call me Nose Drip Sister again. Does he have a problem? She's a grown woman now. Does he think she would tolerate being constantly called Nose Drip Sister? Doesn't she have any dignity left? Why? Xiaozhou scratched his head. Aren't nicknames meant to be used? Li Yanran was livid. Call me Li Yanran, thank you. But I remember you as Li Sanchun. Zhou Weijun. You're being really irritating. Li Yanran glared at Xiaozhou furiously. She turned and stomped off, no longer acknowledging Xiaozhou. Nose drip sister. Nose drip sister. Xiaozhou chased after Li Yanran's steps, but she ignored him. The saying about a woman's heart being as deep as the sea rang true. For no apparent reason she had become angry? Xiaozhou furrowed his eyebrows, not understanding. He moved next to Anai Yang and asked in a low voice, Yang, what's up with nose drip sister? She's angry. Anai Yang replied. Who has she taken offense with? Xiaozhou was perplexed. Anai Yang said, she's angry at you. Xiaozhou scratched his head, looking exasperated. Angry at me? I didn't provoke her, nor did I offend her. What is she getting angry about? Women are indeed quite strange. Can't afford to provoke, can't afford to provoke. This was truly a calamity not of his making. Boys like Xiaozhou could best be described in modern terms as steel-hardened straight males. Anai Yang laughed. All girls love to be beautiful, and you calling her nose drip sister all the time, isn't it natural that she gets angry? Xiaozhou sighed. What's there to be angry about? You girls are just so strange, Anai Yang continued. In any case, just stop calling Yanran nose drip sister, alright? Fine. If you say so, I won't call her that. As he finished speaking, Xiaozhou caught up with Li Yanran and continued, I'm sorry, nose drip sister. I promise not to call you that anymore. Li Yanran, you can keep your hollow gratitude to yourself. With a smile, Anai Yang led the two to the living room. You two sit here. I will make the dessert. The dessert Anai Yang planned to make was red bean taro balls. Taro balls is a type of snack from Minnan, southern Fujian province. It's made from cassava starch. Anai Yang took out 3 different colored balls of cassava starch from the fridge. She kneaded the dough into a rectangular shape, cut it into small pieces and boiled it. Then she put the cooked taro balls into chilled red bean soup. She added sago and whole milk, then garnished the bowl with some mint leaves and lemon slices. A delicious and good-looking bowl of red bean taro balls was ready to be served. Chapter 471. Zheng Xianjing looks for Fuwa father and son _3. Since all the ingredients were prepared in advance, it took only a few minutes to make 4 bowls of taro balls. Anai Yang brought the cooked taro balls to the table. Li Yanran exclaimed in surprise, Yang, what kind of dessert did you make? It looks so beautiful. Anai Yang said, this is a traditional snack from southern Fujian called red bean taro balls, give it a try. Li Yanran took a spoon and tasted it. The mouthfeel was a mixture of the chewiness of red beans and the creaminess of milk, exhibiting a rich, fragrant flavor that also emitted a light refreshing scent, somewhat similar to lemon, yet it also smelled mildly like mint. It was satisfying and refreshing. She gently bit into a taro ball, finding it pleasantly chewy with a hint of sweet potato fragrance. It was absolutely delicious. Li Yanran had never tasted such a delicious dessert. Delicious, it's really delicious. Li Yanran said vaguely, Yang, what are these chewy little balls made of? The taro balls were indeed delightful. Even Xiaozhou, who didn't usually have a sweet tooth, found them irresistible. Anai Yang explained with a smile, the purple ones are made from sweet potato and cassava flour, the yellow ones are pumpkin and the white ones are potato. Yang, you are really talented. Li Yanran hugged Anai Yang around the waist. If I were a boy, I'd definitely marry you. Anai Yang said, eat as much as you like, and if it's not enough, there's more in the fridge. Alright. Li Yanran nodded hastily. Anai Yang went back into the house to call Anai Tsuehua. Mom, come out for dessert. Okay. Anai Tsuehua walked out of the room. Where's Yun? Anai Yang continued to ask. She's asleep. Oh. Anai Yang nodded slightly. Mother and daughter came to the living room, where Xiaozhou and Li Yanran politely greeted Anai Tsuehua. After finishing the dessert, Anai Yang asked, Yanran, Xiaozhou, what do you want to eat tonight? Li Yanran said, I like anything you cook, Yang. Everything made by Anai Yang was definitely a delicacy. Xiaozhou said, like booger girl, anything goes. Li Yanran shot Xiaozhou a fierce glare. Only then did Xiaozhou realize he'd put his foot in his mouth and quickly corrected himself. Like Yanran, anything goes. Then let's have hot pot tonight. The hot pot was both delicious and convenient. It was appropriate for a big group of people since cooking individual dishes could be troublesome. Yang, it'll help you wash the vegetables. Li Yanran quickly followed Yang. Yang, it'll help too. Xiaozhou also joined in the fun. In no time, the small kitchen filled with cheerful laughter and the appetizing aroma of hot pot ingredients. Yang made a spicy oil base and a clear soup base for the hot pot. The spicy oil was made from beef tallow, chili peppers and star anise, while the clear soup was made from a broth stewed with an old hen and mushrooms. Yang prepared some homemade fish tofu, shrimp paste, meatballs, thinly sliced lamb, vegetables, tofu, etc. for the hot pot ingredients. Having a bite of the spicy and fragrant hot pot ingredient, followed by a sip of chilled sour plum soup, the taste was absolutely refreshing. Neither Xiaozhou nor Li Yanran had ever tasted such a delicious hot pot. They were so excited that they were at a loss for words. The boiling spicy oil reflected the smiling faces of everyone, creating a warm and harmonious atmosphere. Xiaozhou was a responsible person. That night he had the items sent over to Xianxia. The day after receiving the items, Xianxia couldn't wait to visit Walt Road. When she arrived, she happened to see a boy named Fua playing by the roadside. He was a skinny little boy, even skinnier than he looked in the photos. He was wearing tattered clothes, had no shoes that fit his feet, and looked no different from a beggar. Normally, Zheng Xianjing would not give this little beggar a second glance. But today was different. Because this child was her only trump card to take down Li Xianxian. If the information was true, then Li Xianxian's life would be ruined. Never mind that she was carrying Mo Baichuan's child, even if she were bearing a dragon, it would be useless. At the thought of this, an unmistakable smugness passed across Zheng Xianjing's eyes. Little friend. Zheng Xianjing squatted down in front of Fua, trying to muster a gentle smile. Fua backed away a step, looking slightly afraid, and asked, Who are you? Zheng Xianjing took a step forward. Don't be scared, little friend. I'm not a bad person. I'm here to help you. Fua didn't respond, but watched Zheng Xianjing vigilantly. Zheng Xianjing continued, Is your name Fua? Chapter 472. Zheng Xianjing goes to Fua father and son _4. Fua nodded his head in affirmation. Zheng Xianjing continued, Fua, how old are you this year? Fua remained silent. Zheng Xianjing continued further, Are you 6 years old? Fua nodded his head again. Zheng Xianjing pursued, Fua, where is your father? He's gone to work. After Yang's treatment, Zhou Tianbao was completely healed and now, he was hefting bags of rice for others at the rice merchants. Though the labor wasn't high-paying, it was enough for the father and son to survive. Fua, where is your mother? Fua shook his head, I don't have a mother. Seeing this, Zheng Xianjing squinted her eyes. It turned out that the information she had was indeed accurate. Li Xianxian is just a malicious woman who abandoned her husband and child. A woman who had given birth to a child and had a husband, yet she had the audacity to imagine marrying into the Mo family. She was truly shameless. A look of disdain filled Zheng Xianjing's eyes. Fua, do you want to find your mother? She asked. No. Fua, who had never experienced maternal love, had a vague impression of his mother. Having his father was enough. Doesn't want to find his mother? Another ingrate. He doesn't want his mother anymore. As the saying goes, as the beam is, so is the pillar beneath. Zheng Xianjing continued, Fua, I know your mother, son Dalian. Would you like me to take you to find her? No. Fua shook his head again. Zheng Xianjing furrowed her brows slightly, You child? How can you not want your own mother? Fua retorted loudly, She was the one who didn't want me first. Zheng Xianjing didn't want to argue with Fua, she simply asked, When will your father come back? Fua didn't reply. Zheng Xianjing continued, Will your father be back for lunch? Fua nodded his head with tears welling up in his eyes. Zheng Xianjing looked at her wristwatch. It was 11 in the morning. If Zhou Tianbao was coming back for lunch, he shouldn't be long. Fua, would you take your sister to wait at your place for your father? Fua hesitated for a moment before nodding his head. Ever since Fua's home was tidied up by house cleaners, it had remained the same. Spotless. But for someone of Zheng Xianjing's affluent background, this environment was still unappealing and chaotic. Staying even a minute more was torture. At 12:30, a short man walked in from outside. This man was Zhou Tianbao. Fua immediately rushed up to him exclaiming, Dad. Zheng Xianjing also stood up with a shine in her eyes. Are you Zhou Tianbao? Zhou Tianbao wore a stern look. Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Would a destitute beggar dare to use such an attitude with her? This was totally uncalled for. Suppressing the fire in her heart, Zheng Xianjing continued, "You must be Zhou Tianbao, right? My last name is Zheng. I am here to help you." "I don't need anyone's help, you can leave." Zhou Tianbao pointed towards the door, speaking dismissively. "I really came to help you," Zheng Xianjing emphasized. "I've news about your wife, Sun Dalian." She assumed that after delivering this bombshell news, Zhou Tianbao would definitely be very excited. But instead, Zhou Tianbao had a displeased look on his face. What's going on? Did Li Xianxian abandon her husband and child, and Zhou Tianbao didn't get angry at all? Zheng Xianjing was extremely puzzled. Zhou Tianbao spoke then, "What does news about Sun Dalian have to do with me? Isn't Sun Dalian your wife?" Zheng Xianjing asked, "Don't you want to find her?" "We're not husband and wife anymore," Zhou Tianbao stated. "Do you have anything else to say? If not, please leave immediately." Zhou Tianbao's face was stern, not joking at all. The way things went was totally different from what Zheng Xianjing had imagined. In her imagination, Zhou Tianbao would be eternally grateful to her if she told him about Li Xianxian. Whatever she asked him to do, he would obediently do. She didn't expect that Zhou Tianbao would show such indifference. This was just unbelievable. Zheng Xianjing questioned, "Don't you want to know about Sun Dalian's current status?" "No." Zhou Tianbao shook his head. Zheng Xianjing continued, "Sun Dalian has changed her name to Li Xianxian now. Moreover, she is about to get married, her wedding date is set for next year." Upon hearing this, Zhou Tianbao's face still didn't display any particular expression. It's as if nothing had happened at all. "Don't you feel angry at all?" Zheng Xianjing asked. "What is there to be angry about?" Zhou Tianbao retorted. Chapter 473, Zheng Xianjing seeks out Fuwa father and son under 5. Sun Dalian has abandoned her husband and child and remarried under a false identity. You guys are struggling to make ends meet, while she lives a lavish life. Don't you, as her husband, feel anything about it? At this point, Zheng Xianjing pausing said, "I can help you now. Shall I help you find Sun Dalian?" "Help us?" Zhou Tianbao laughed. "Don't you mean exploit us? Look at what you're saying. I kindly offered to take you to see Sun Dalian. It's one thing if you're ungrateful, but to claim him using you. Aren't you unappreciative?" At her last comment, Zheng Xianjing put more emphasis on her tone. Zhou Tianbao in his nonchalant manner said, "We appreciate your kind intentions but we don't need your help." "You'll regret it," retorted Zheng Xianjing. "You're missing a golden opportunity." Zhou Tianbao remained resolute. "Rest assured, I won't regret it." Zheng Xianjing felt disconcerted. She hadn't expected Zhou Tianbao to have such an attitude. If Zhou Tianbao doesn't want to find Li Xianxian, then her entire effort to find Li Xianxian would be in vain. Mrs. Mo and Baichuan wouldn't trust her word alone. "What now?" Zheng Xianjing frowned. "Why are you like this? I'm here to help you and you're not grateful. You want to use us to deal with Sun Dalian, don't you? Use us as cannon fodder, right?" When confronted with Zhou Tianbao's accurate guess, Zheng Xianjing felt a bit awkward. Originally, she had planned to take Zhou Tianbao and Fuwa to see Li Xianxian, hoping that Li Xianxian would reveal her true colors in front of Mo family members and kill two birds with one stone, but Zhou Tianbao was uncooperative. What was so good about Li Xianxian? She abandoned her husband and child, yet Zhou Tianbao was defending her. "So what do you want?" asked Zheng Xianjing. "If you want us to help you, fine." Zhou Tianbao turned to Zheng Xianjing, "But I have a requirement." "Requirement?" She takes Zhou Tianbao to find Li Xianxian and he sets conditions. Wasn't that going too far? "You have to realize that I'm helping you." Zheng Xianjing's face darkened. Zhou Tianbao said, "You also need to understand that we don't need your help." Zheng Xianjing took a deep breath. "Speak. As compensation we want 10,000 yuan. We, father and son, will then fully comply." "That's a lot of money." Zhou Tianbao's heart was racing as he spoke. Would Zheng Xianjing agree to his conditions? 10,000 yuan? With the 30,000 yuan Mo's man asked for, that would total 40,000 yuan. Zheng Xianjing started to suspect that this was all a trap orchestrated by Mr. Mo. "Don't push your luck," said Zheng Xianjing, her face darkening. Zhou Tianbao confidently said, "Whether you are willing to pay is up to you. I won't force it. The most I can give is 1,000. Zheng Xianjing gritted her teeth. "The door's over there." Zhou Tianbao pointed toward the exit. Zheng Xianjing took a deep breath. 2,000. Zhou Tianbao stood firm, not a penny less. Insatiable. Zhou Tianbao responded, you should know whether this 10,000 yuan is worth it. Indeed, his words hit Zheng Xianjing where it hurt. If she could ruin Li Xianxian completely with 10,000 yuan, it would be worth it. Moreover, she had already spent 30,000 yuan. Could she really turn back for just 10,000 yuan? Zheng Xianjing remained silent for a while, then said, fine, 10,000 it is. I'll give you every penny once it's done, but for now you need to follow my instructions. Payment first, work later, Zhou Tianbao said. Do you think I might cheat you out of your money? Possibly. Poor people will always be poor. Such small-mindedness. This was the first time Zheng Xianjing was left speechless by such a petty action. I will bring you the money tomorrow. Okay. Zhou Tianbao nodded, then come back tomorrow. Zheng Xianjing pulled a 7-inch photo from her pocket, then asked, do you know this person? She's Sun Dalian. Zhou Tianbao answered indifferently. However, immense resentment surged within him. Years ago, when Sun Dalian abandoned them, Fua had a high fever of 39 degrees. He was on the brink of death. Over the years, he had wanted to find Sun Dalian every second of the day, but he had never been successful. Upon seeing that Zhou Tianbao could recognize Li Xianxian, Zheng Xianjing felt assured and said, he'll come find you again tomorrow. Before then, don't go anywhere. Zhou Tianbao nodded. Zheng Xianjing left Walt Road satisfied, feeling exhilarated. Zhou Tianbao watched the retreating figure of Zheng Xianjing, feeling an indescribable sensation. Days before, when Ni Yang had come over for a checkup, she had told him about this. In a few days someone would come, claiming that they could lead him to Sun Dalian. Zhou Tianbao was ecstatic at that time. Over the years he dreamed of finding Sun Dalian. They had come all the way to Beijing for the sole purpose of finding her. But Ni Yang told him not to agree hastily. She instructed him to demand 10,000 yuan. Zhou Tianbao was astounded then. The other party could lead him to Li Xianxian, and there was also a hefty reward. Could there be such a good thing in this world? Initially he was a bit incredulous. Who could have anticipated that all these were actually true? Ni Yang was truly the lucky star of their family. She not only cured his legs but also helped him find Sun Dalian. Moreover, she had helped him earn unexpected wealth. Fua. Zhou Tianbao called for Fua. Daddy. Fua came running. Zhou Tianbao continued, Fua, from now on, you cannot tell anyone you know Sister Ni Yang. Although Ni Yang hadn't said anything to him, Zhou Tianbao had a hunch. If they told other people they knew Ni Yang, it would definitely cause trouble for her. Ni Yang was their benefactor, he couldn't cause her any difficulty. Why? Fua looked at Zhou Tianbao with confusion. Zhou Tianbao said, because by doing so we might cause trouble for Sister Ni Yang. Would you like to see Sister Ni Yang distressed? Hearing this, Fua shook his head. No. Then listen to Dad. From now on, you have to pretend not to know Sister Ni Yang in places where there are many people. Okay, I understand, Dad. Fua nodded wisely. Mo Baichuan's wedding was approaching. The Mo family was very busy. After all, Mo Baichuan is the legitimate eldest grandson of Mo family, so his wedding cannot be simple. Baichuan, you have beautiful handwriting, so let's leave the invitation cards to you. Xiao Jiao handed Mo Baichuan a stack of invitations. All right, Mom. Mo Baichuan nodded. Xiao Jiao continued, Baichuan, have you been visiting Xianxian these days? Mo Baichuan paused for a moment before replying, I've been too busy these days. Xiao Jiao went on, Baichuan, Xianxian is pregnant now and it is a critical period. She feels sensitive and has no other close family members. There are more than 10 days left before your wedding. You should find some time to see her. Xiao Jiao also felt sorry for Li Xianxian, who is an orphan. While it's bustling over at Mo's house, she was solitary and alone. Mo Baichuan nodded, all right, I got it, Mom. As long as you understand. Xiao Jiao added, and by the way, don't forget to write an invitation for your 6th uncle's girlfriend. Your grandmother specifically asked me about it. Mo Baichuan looked up at Xiao Jiao, 6th uncle's girlfriend? Xiao Jiao smiled and said, the girl named Ni Yang who came to our house for your grandmother's birthday last time. Mo Baichuan was startled. Right. How could he forget that Ni Yang is now Mo Kishin's girlfriend? Chapter 474. The wedding proceeds as scheduled _1. Ni Yang is Mo Kishin's girlfriend. And he is also about to marry Li Xianxian. Oh. Mo Baichuan suddenly remembered, During his last birthday party Yang did not come with Imo-chishan. Hadn't she already broken up with Imo-chishan? Didn't Yang already break up with Uncle Lu? Imo Baichuan continued. Broke up. Xiao Jiao furrowed her brows and continued, I don't think so. This morning your grandmother was still discussing their marriage with your Uncle Lu. You are 27 this year and Uncle Lu is a year older than you. I reckon they should be getting married soon too. Could it be that Yang and Imo-chishan hadn't broken up? Was it all just his speculation? Imo Baichuan's expression darkened, and he felt a heaviness in his heart, a sudden feeling of being suffocated. Xiao Jiao continued, Yang is a very good girl. Your grandpa and grandma both really like her. It's just that she was born lowly. I heard she only finished middle school. Though Yang is pretty, her education level is too low and she is only a noodle vendor. Compared to Xianxia, she falls far behind. Though Xianxia is an orphan, she is a proper university student, studying at a domestic university which is quite prestigious. But on the other hand it seems that Imo-chishan can only match up with someone like this. A girl as outstanding as Zhao Jingrong would never look at Imo-chishan. After all, Imo-chishan is just a good-for-nothing. What kind of affluent family's girl could he possibly marry? Even though she only finished middle school, her ambitions are not small, Imo Baichuan said with a cryptic expression. Xiao Jiao was taken aback. What do you mean? Imo Baichuan said, she's just a noodle vendor. If she didn't have some tact, how could she have possibly won the favor of my grandparents? When Master Imo and Madame Imo were young, they had both experienced the hail of bullets in war, and an ordinary person wouldn't catch their eyes. Could an ordinary person pull off this? Besides, Imo Baichuan suspected that Yang was reluctant to break up with Imo-chishan because she had other motives. Xiao Jiao said, Yang does indeed seem like a likable kid. Plus, she saved Xiaodai, so it's normal for your grandparents to like her. Apart from her low status, Xiao Jiao didn't see any other flaws in Yang. Imo Baichuan's expression was cryptic as he started to write on the invitation. After writing one invitation, Imo Baichuan picked up the coat hanging on the rack and began to walk towards the door. Baichuan, where are you going? Xiao Jiao asked from behind. Delivering the invitation, Imo Baichuan replied. Who are you giving it to? Xiao Jiao continued, who sends out invitations one by one? You should write them all out then deliver them all together. Imo Baichuan did not answer and disappeared out the door. Sometime later the sound of a car engine came from outside. Imo Baichuan drove all the way to Jianghu village. Because the dirt road was inconvenient, he parked the car at the entrance of the village and walked to the Ni family's courtyard. The courtyard door was half closed. Through blooming banana flowers he could somewhat see a slender figure. She was in black cotton shorts, revealing two slender and fair long legs, wearing a white camisole on top. She was wearing flip-flops, standing under an osmanthus tree feeding the birds insects. Because of the movement, when she stood on her toes, a small part of her slender waist was exposed. It was quite captivating. From where Imo Baichuan was standing, he could see her profile. Her long dense eyelashes cast a shallow shadow on her nose. Why would she dress like this in broad daylight? Did she know he was coming and intentionally dressed this way? Was this how a decent woman should dress? Imo Baichuan slightly frowned, took a step back and knocked on the door. The door isn't locked, just come in, Yang's voice came from inside. Imo Baichuan pushed the door and entered. When Yang saw that the visitor was Imo Baichuan, she was taken aback for a moment, then said, Why are you here? I came to give you the invitation. Imo Baichuan handed over the big red invitation to Yang. Yang reached out and took it. Congratulations winning the beauty. No matter how Imo Baichuan heard it, he felt that there was some bitterness in her words. It made sense he was about to get married to Xianxia, and Yang must be very upset now. Imo Baichuan narrowed his eyes and said, The wedding is set for the 18th. If you sincerely want to attend the wedding, I will be very happy. But if you have other intentions, don't blame me for not being polite. Chapter 475. The wedding was held as scheduled _2. Imo Baichuan had come over this time to confront Yang. He was worried that Yang would disrupt his wedding to Xianxia. Xianxia was already pregnant, and Imo Baichuan did not want her to suffer any further grievances. Even at this point Imo Baichuan was still so narcissistic. Hadn't she made herself clear last time? Yang was somewhat speechless. At the same time, Yang felt relieved that she had entrusted this matter to Zheng Xianjing. If she had personally dealt with Xianxia, who knew how Mo Baichuan would have misunderstood the situation. "Nephew, I suggest you spend less time admiring yourself in the mirror." Yang spoke softly, without a trace of sorrow in her eyes or expression. Mo Baichuan furrowed his brows slightly. If Yang was pretending, then her acting skills were quite powerful indeed. Had he been wrong from the start? Or was she pretending now? Just then the sound of footsteps were heard again from outside the yard. Yang looked up and saw a pair of radiant eyes. She stood up to greet him. "Big brother Mo." "Yang." Mo Qishan reached out to take Yang's hand, furrowing his brows slightly. "Why are you dressed so lightly?" As he spoke, he naturally removed his white shirt and draped it over Yang. The pure white men's shirt was just long enough to cover Yang's shorts, creating an immediate impression of a child wearing an adult's clothing. Mo Qishan bent down to fasten the shirt buttons one by one. Yang's outfit was quite common in modern times, and even in the 80s, it wouldn't have been considered unusual. She hadn't expected Mo Qishan to be so conservative. "Big brother Mo, are you done?" Yang asked, looking down slightly. "Just one more button." Mo Qishan answered without looking up. The scene was somewhat glaring. Mo Baichuan furrowed his brows, stepped forward and said, "Uncle Six." Mo Qishan nodded slightly. His expression didn't reveal any emotion. "Why are you here?" "I'm here to deliver the wedding invitation to my future Aunt Six," Mo Baichuan replied. "Have you delivered it?" "I have." Mo Qishan glanced at Mo Baichuan, his thin lips slightly parted. "Since you have already delivered it, why don't you leave? Are you planning on spending the new year at your Aunt Six's house?" Just the thought that Mo Baichuan had seen his wife's long legs and slender waist irritated Mo Qishan. His wife was his and only he had the right to look. Mo Baichuan's face flashed with a hint of embarrassment before saying, "Uncle Six, then I'll be on my way." "Go ahead." Mo Qishan said, "Your Aunt Six and I are busy." Mo Baichuan glanced at Yang before turning around to leave, his face clouded with embarrassment. Yang didn't pay any more attention to Mo Baichuan. Holding Mo Qishan's hand, they headed inside. "Big brother Mo, let's go inside. It's hot out here." Since entering the room, Mo Qishan's face was rigid, his lips nearly a thin line, and he remained silent. "Big brother Mo, what's wrong?" Yang brought him a bowl of red bean taro balls. "Try the taro balls I made. Are they good?" Mo Qishan didn't say a word. "Big brother Mo?" Yang waved her hand in front of his eyes. "If you don't say anything, I'll go wash my hair." Saying that, Yang turned around to walk outside. Just then her wrist was grabbed. A sudden force yanked her back, and in a dizzying whirl she was pulled onto Mo Qishan's lap. Mo Qishan held her waist tightly with both hands, buried his chin in the hollow of her neck and mumbled, "Yang, I'm angry." "Huh?" Yang was taken aback. "Cajole me now." Mo Qishan whined like a 5-year-old child. Yang chuckled, looking at Mo Qishan while cupping his face. "Aren't you being childish?" "I'm really angry." Yang smiled and said, "Then I'll make you a delicious dinner tonight. Will you stop being angry then?" "No." "Then I'll say sorry. I'm sorry, it was my bad." "No." Mo Qishan shook his head. "I'm still very angry." Mo Qishan looked discontentedly at Yang. "Yang, I'm still very angry." Yang's face turned stern. "Mo Qishan, enough is enough." Mo Qishan still wanted Yang to kiss him again. "I'm really very angry." Yang didn't indulge him anymore and turned to walk out of the room. Mo Qishan, like a lord, sat on the chair, expecting Yang to come to placate him. A minute, 2 minutes, then soon 3 minutes passed by. Chapter 476. The wedding takes place as planned _3. Mo Qishan now felt a bit uncomfortable and turned his gaze toward the door. Yang was watering the plants in the yard with her watering can. Giddily, Mo Qishan ran up to her and said, "Yang?" Yang didn't respond. Mo Qishan continued, "Wifey?" Yang still ignored him. Mo Qishan went on, "Wifey, I was wrong. I shouldn't have pushed my luck. Can you stop ignoring me, please?" "Wifey, let me help you water the plants." Mo Qishan took the watering can from Yang. "Wifey, can you crack a smile, please? You're scaring me like this." Mo Qishan was genuinely nervous and a bit scared. "Next time, dare to misbehave?" Yang sternly grabbed his ear. "I dare not do it again, I don't." Mo Qishan quickly nodded. "I promise I'll always follow the leader's orders. 1 if the leader says 1, 2 if the leader says 2. Ni Yang slightly curved her lips into a shallow smile, dimples appearing at the corners of her mouth, before turning and heading into the house. Mo Qishan didn't dare to ask anything else. Instead, he focused attentively on watering the plants. After a while, Ni Yang came out of the room. She had changed into a vintage-styled short shirt with a standing collar, paired with a pair of black wide-leg pants below. The vintage look was sophisticated, yet with a hint of playfulness. "Here, you should have this." Ni Yang handed the white shirt back to Mo Qishan. Mo Qishan asked, "Yang, how come you're not wearing it?" Ni Yang replied, "You should put it on. What do you look like topless?" Although Mo Qishan did have a good figure with abs and well-toned muscles, after all, this was the 80s. If other people saw Mo Qishan's upper body exposed, the gossip wouldn't be good. It was then Mo Qishan realized he didn't have his shirt on, so he quickly put on the white shirt, making sure to flatter, "Wifey, you're so considerate. What did he do to deserve such a wonderful wife? You sweet talker." Ni Yang lightly smiled. Although she knew Mo Qishan was merely buttering her up each time, Ni Yang indeed fell for it. Seeing Ni Yang smile, Mo Qishan quietly sighed in relief. After returning home, Zheng Xianjing told Zheng Lingling about Zhou Tianba's request. Hearing this, Zheng Lingling frowned. 10,000 yuan? Were to help him and also pay him 10,000 yuan? The 30,000 yuan required a few days ago had already given Zheng Lingling a hard time. Where was she supposed to find the remaining 10,000 yuan? Zheng Xianjing sighed. Unfortunately, Li Xianxian is really something. Despite abandoning her husband and child, Zhou Tianbao still defends her. "Xianjing, could you try if it's possible to give him the money at the beginning of next month?" The beginning of the month is when you have pocket money. Currently, Zheng Lingling had absolutely no cash on her. "No way." Zheng Xianjing said, "By the beginning of next month, that bitch Li Xianxian will already be married to Mo Baichuan." "When is the wedding of the Mo family set?" Zheng Lingling asked. "This month on the 18th. Zheng Xianjing answered. "So soon?" Zheng Lingling narrowed her eyes. Zheng Xianjing added, "If it's any later, would Li Xianxian's belly be able to wait?" Zheng Lingling nodded in agreement. "You're right, Xianjing." She then asked, "So, Xianjing, you plan to stir up trouble at the wedding?" Zheng Xianjing nodded. "Of course, the more drama, the better." It was about time Li Xianxian, who had flaunted in front of her for so long, suffered. She intended to embarrass Li Xianxian in front of everyone so that she would never be able to hold her head up high. Moreover, Li Xianxian was pregnant. If this matter was not made a big deal of, what if the Mo family chose to settle for peace because of the child? Zheng Xianjing couldn't take that risk. Zheng Lingling suggested, "In that case, I have a set of jewelry that I don't particularly like. It should be worth around 10,000 yuan. "Thank you, Mom." Zheng Xianjing's eyes lit up, then she asked, "By the way, Mom, where did you get the 30,000 yuan last time?" "I borrowed it." "From whom?" Zheng Lingling explained, "A mahjong buddy, you don't know him." "Oh," Zheng Xianjing nodded. Zheng Lingling stood up to leave. "Wait for me here, Xianjing. I'll go upstairs and get the jewelry." It was a simple platinum diamond necklace which she had bought for over 20,000 yuan at the time, so it should more than cover the 10,000 yuan she needed. Zheng Xianjing accepted the jewelry. "Then I'll go have it exchanged right now." Mo Qishan got home from his dinner at Ni Yang's well past 7 in the evening. When he arrived, Mo Baichuan was calligraphing couplets on the living room table. "Nephew." Mo Qishan approached Mo Baichuan. Chapter 477. The wedding takes place as planned. 4. "Uncle Six, do you need anything?" Mo Baichuan put down his brush. Mo Qishan continued, "Dear nephew, I suggest you reconsider your marriage to Li Xianxian. She's not as simple as you think." Regardless, Mo Baichuan was the only child of his brother and the eldest legitimate grandson of the Mo family. Mo Qishan couldn't bear to see Mo Baichuan sink into a pitfall. "Did Ni Yang send you to say these things?" Mo Baichuan sneered at Mo Qishan. No wonder Ni Yang refused to break up with Mo Qishan. So this was her plan. Mo Qishan frowned slightly. "This matter has nothing to do with your sixth aunt." Mo Baichuan continued, "Uncle Six, you know if it matters or not. Li Xianxian is already pregnant with my child. No matter what you say, I will stand by Li Xianxian." From Mo Baichuan's words, Mo Qishan could deduce that his nephew was beyond saving. Indeed, as Ni Yang had said, terrifyingly narcissistic. Mo Qishan bluntly responded, "So she got pregnant just like that after one time, nephew, don't be a fool who can't even see when he's being cuckolded. After all, this was his birth nephew. Mo Qishan still needed to say what should be said. Uncle 6. Mo Baichuan's face stiffened. You're crossing a line. I trust Li Xianxian. Useless. His words were completely illogical. Li Xianxian gave him her first time, how could she possibly cheat on him? Besides, Li Xianxian was not that kind of person. Mo Qishan's words were too outrageous. Not only did he damage Li Xianxian's reputation, he indirectly insulted his dignity. I have spoken my mind. Whether you listen or not is up to you. Mo Qishan did not want to waste more words with him. Mo Baichuan looked at Mo Qishan and continued, Did Ni Yang have you pass on this message? Without a doubt, these words must have come from Ni Yang. She intended to use Mo Qishan to ruin his wedding with Li Xianxian. Even if it was from Ni Yang, Mo Qishan should have thought twice about whether he should say it out loud. Mo Qishan sighed helplessly, Nephew, paranoia is a disease, it needs treatment. Mo Baichuan replied, Uncle 6, don't let yourself be used as someone's tool unknowingly. Mo Qishan didn't want to waste more words with him and continued, I wish you and Miss Xianxian a long and happy life together. With that, Mo Qishan turned around and headed upstairs. Mo Baichuan continued writing invitations. The next day, Zheng Xianjing delivered the cash to Zhou Tianbao's house as promised, and explained some details to Zhou Tianbao. Zhou Tianbao said, Miss Zheng, rest assured, since I have taken your money, I will not disappoint you. Remember your words. Zheng Xianjing narrowed her eyes, if you dare to play any tricks, it'll make you regret it. After some discussions, Zheng Xianjing left Walt Road. Days flew by quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of Mo Baichuan and Li Xianxian's wedding. The wedding was held at the Mo family's old house. Many prestigious families from Beijing personally attended to give their blessings. Li Xianxian sat in front of the dressing mirror, a smirk surfaced in her eyes when she saw her finely made-up self reflected back. She had finally waited for this day. From now on, she would be the high-profile Madame Mog, an object of envy in Beijing. Miss Li, it's time to change into your wedding dress. The makeup artist brought in an imported wedding gown. Not many people wore wedding gowns in those times, and country folks hadn't even seen one. Looking at the magnificent wedding gown, Li Xianxian was reminded of her previous wedding. 6 years ago, when she was pregnant and getting married to Zhou Tianbao, she didn't even have a decent red gown, let alone a wedding dress. 6 years later, through her own efforts, she had become the happiest bride in the world. It all felt like a dream. Miss Li? Seeing her lost in thought, the makeup artist reminded her. All right, I'm coming right away. Li Xianxian snapped out of her trance and took the wedding gown. The makeup artist followed Li Xianxian. Li Xianxian said, I can change on my own, there's no need for you to follow. The makeup artist answered, how could we do that? The madam and the old lady specifically instructed me not to allow any mishaps. There was no shortage of envy in the makeup artist's eyes. She had heard that Miss Li was just an orphan. Who would have thought that an orphan would have such good luck to marry into the Mo family? From now on, she would truly be a lady of a rich family, a life completely different from an ordinary person's. Li Xianxian enjoyed the envy in the makeup artist's eyes and without saying much more, allowed the makeup artist to follow her into the fitting room. Just as she changed into her wedding gown, a servant entered from the outside. Miss Li, there is someone looking for you. Chapter 478, Big Slap in the Face on Sight. _1. Who is looking for me? Li Xianxian asked. Miss Zheng, the housekeeper replied. Miss Zheng? Li Xianxian squinted her eyes. Is it Zheng Xianjing? Yes, the housekeeper nodded. Li Xianxian's mouth curled into a smile as she sorted her dress. Let her in. All right. In a moment, the servant brought Zheng Xianjing in. Zheng Xianjing had her hair styled in the most popular manner of the time, framed by well-drawn eyebrows, painted red lips, a heavy layer of foundation making her face white as chalk. She wore a bright red formal dress, red high heels to match, looking more the bride than the bride herself. Just by her outfit, it was clear that she had come prepared. But Li Xianxian was not afraid anymore. Inside her belly was the legitimate heir of the Mo family. Even old Lady Mo had to treat her with care and laughter now. So what could a Zheng Xianjing count for? Li Xianxian greeted her with a warm smile. Sister Xianjing. Xianxian. Zheng Xianjing laughed as she grasped Li Xianxian's hand. Anyone who didn't know them might have thought these two were the best of friends. Xianxian, congratulations on finally marrying brother Baichuan. I wish you a long and happy marriage until you both are old. Xianxia squinted her eyes. Thank you. I also wish that Sister Xianjing will soon find her perfect husband. Don't worry, Xianxia, I will definitely marry the man I want to marry. Xianjing said provocatively. Xianxia laughed and retorted, Isn't it too early for you to say that, Sister Xianjing? Do you believe that a person's luck can change from full to emptiness? Marry the man she wanted? Did Xianjing hope to marry Mo Baichuan and become the second wife? She was so blatant about being a mistress. Shameless. Xianjing locked eyes with Xianxia, excitedly declaring, The game isn't ended yet. It's not certain who will be the ultimate winner. A mocking look flashed in Xianxian's eyes. In life, you should learn to cut losses at the right time. Don't wait until you hit a wall to realize that it's time to turn back. Even if you scheme your heart out, in the end it's all in vain. Why keep trying? Without hitting that wall, how will I know it's not about to fall? Responded Xianjing, grinning. Xianxia, am I right? She would certainly win this battle. As for Xianxia, she was destined to be a stepping stone. Xianxia didn't take Xianjing seriously, replied with a smile, Then I wish for Sister Xianjing's complete victory. Xianjing's face was filled with undisguised triumph. Xianxia continued, Xiaowang, bring a chair. I want to sit and chat with Sister Xianjing. After speaking, Xianxia turned her head to look at Xianjing and said apologetically, Ever since I got pregnant, I've been very weak, I always feel tired. Xianjing, you wouldn't mind me sitting down to talk, would you? Xianjing forced a smile. Of course not. How could I mind? The chair was right next to them. She could just sit down if she wanted to. But Xianxia had to make a show out of it, solely to flex her power over Xianjing. She was reminding Xianjing that she was carrying Mo Baichuan's child. Anything Xianjing did would be in vain. Mockery flashed across Xianjing's eyes. Just wait. The more triumphant Xianxia was now, the more desperate she would be later. Today was Mo Baichuan's wedding day, so a drama was about to be staged. Yang, as the aunt, had to be present, of course. At 10:30 a.m., Mo Qixin came to pick up Yang on his bicycle. The moment Yang opened the door, she saw Mo Qixin leaning against his bicycle smoking, emanating a strong and slender silhouette. Mo Qixin had outstanding features. A handsome face, refined and deep-set, knife-like cheekbones, each angle perfect. He was destined to be a ruler. Seeing Yang approaching, Mo Qixin instantly extinguished the unfinished cigarette between his fingers. Yang. Yang walked over and sat on the crossbar of the bicycle. Brother Mo, let's go. Mo Qixin's nose brushed gently over her hair. All right. With the beauty in his arms, Mo Qixin rode the bike slowly. Mo family home. The wedding was scheduled for 12:18 p.m. By 10 o'clock all the guests had arrived. Today was Mo Baichuan's wedding, so naturally the task of entertaining guests fell to Mo Rongping and Xiu Jiao. As for the old master and old lady Mo, all they had to do was enjoy the festivities and chat. Chapter 479, Big Slap in the Face on Site. _2. Now that Baichuan has gotten married, who knows when we'll be able to celebrate your sixth child's wedding? The speaker was the Wang family's old lady, who generally didn't see eye to eye with the Mo family's old lady. Everyone knew that Mo Qixin had just been dumped by Zhao Jingrong. The Wang family's old lattice comment was obviously intended as scoffing. But the Mo family's old lady didn't seem to mind. Our sixth son's girlfriend is still young and there's no hurry, she responded. Your sixth son has a girlfriend? The Wang family's old lady was taken aback. Not only was she surprised, but all the nearby observers were taken aback as well. Could a loser like Mo Qixin really find a girlfriend? What a sight to behold. The Mo family's old lady nodded. The young lady is only 18 years old this year, a whole 10 years younger than our sixth son. Mo Qixin was well over the hill, and to have found an 18-year-old girlfriend was definitely something for the Mo family's old lady to boast about. The Wang family's old lady continued, If your sixth son already has a girlfriend, then she must be here for such an important day. Erwin, why are you hiding this? You've got such a wonderful daughter-in-law, why not introduce her to us? Are you worried we might steal your family's prestige? On hearing this, the others around them nodded in agreement, their eyes gleaming with anticipation of the unfolding drama. Yes, watching the drama. What type of girlfriend could a loser like Mo Qixin find? Probably some low-class girl not fit for the social scene. So, Everyone was eager for the Mo family's old lady to make a fool of herself. The Mo family had held their ground in Beijing for years, and people were grateful they still had their hopeless son to joke about, otherwise the Mo family might completely monopolize Beijing. While some appeared friendly with the Mo family on the surface, they secretly wished for their downfall. The Mo family's old lady responded with a smile, "Our sixth son has gone to pick up the young lady. Don't be impatient, everyone. Erwin, it's almost 11 o'clock. They're not bailing, are they?" Scoffed the Wang family's old lady, implying that it'd be shameful to showcase the undeserving girlfriend. Someone else chimed in, "Perhaps they're too intimidated by the crowd to show up? It's only natural for the young lady to be shy. Do you think we can compare just anyone to Jingrong?" The mention of Zhao Jingrong brought a moment of silence. After all, she was Mo Kishin's ex-fiancée. Bringing her up in this setting was clearly an attempt to stir up trouble. "Auntie, since you're so pleased with your sixth son's girlfriend, she must be even more beautiful than Sister Jingrong, right?" The speaker was Zhao Jingrong's good friend, Sun Yulan. Zhao Jingrong's beauty was widely recognized amongst their circle. It would be difficult to find another woman more beautiful than her. Sun Yulan's words were clearly meant to embarrass the Mo family's old lady. The Mo family's old lady smiled at Sun Yulan. "Beauty is only skin deep. Some people may have pretty faces, but they are dishonest and do despicable things. What use is their beauty?" Her words were a veiled insult to Sun Yulan and indirectly, Zhao Jingrong. Sun Yulan was taken aback, but she retorted, "While that saying holds some truth, how many of us genuinely disregard appearance? Isn't it a consolation for those who can't have it?" Her words were mocking the Mo family's old lady for bemoaning the loss of what she could not have. What kind of girlfriend could that loser Mo Chishan possibly get? Perhaps she's just some ugly, dull woman. If she were genuinely beautiful, the Mo family's old lady would not have been harping on about beauty only being skin deep. Someone nearby joined in the conversation. "Finding a suitable wife these days is no easy task. It's quite remarkable that your sixth son managed to find one. You shouldn't mind whether she's beautiful or not. Mrs. Liu is right, it doesn't matter if she's a bit ugly as long as she can continue the family lineage." Everyone was chiming in with their mockery towards the Mo family's old lady. But the Mo family's old lattice demeanor didn't falter. "Erwin, why haven't your sixth son and his girlfriend arrived yet? Could it be like they said she was scared off and is too fearful to show up?" Just then 2 figures approached from outside the door. The Mo family's old lattice eyes lit up, gesturing to them, "Yang. 6. Mo Chishan was leading Yang towards them. "Mom?" Chapter 480, Big Slap in the Face on Sight. _3. Yang greeted following Hua, and Mo. "Yang, you guys are here at last," Mo said. Mo Chishan said, "We were held up on the way." Yang's ears turned red for an instant, and she discreetly pinched Mo Kishin's waist. Mo Chishan maintained a calm expression, acting as if nothing happened. The elderly Madame Mo did not notice the exchange between them. She took Yang's hand and introduced, Yang, let me introduce you. This is Aunt Wang, Aunt Wu, Aunt Zhao, and this is Sun Yulan from Aunt Chen's family." After finishing her introduction, Madame Mo turned to everyone and said, "This is Yang, my 6th grandson's girlfriend." Yang was dressed in a light blue cheongsam. Her black, shiny hair was braided into a beautiful fishtail, adorned with pearls. Draped over her shoulder, she did not wear any makeup, but her beauty took everyone's breath away. Thank the heavens for the gorgeous woman who lives in the valley. The appearance of Yang made everyone feel uncomfortable. After all, just a few minutes before they had mocked Mo Kishin's girlfriend in front of Madame Mo, calling her ugly. Unexpectedly, Mo Chishan had brought such a stunning beauty back home. Yang politely greeted everyone. She conducted herself with elegance, overshadowing Sun Yulan, a fellow member of the elite. As another woman, it was inevitable to feel a touch of envy. Sun Yulan had never expected that Mo Kishin's girlfriend was not only prettier than her but even more beautiful than Zhao Jingrong. She had originally intended to slap Madame Mo for disrespecting Zhao Jingrong. Unexpectedly, the tables have turned, and she was the one who got slapped by Madame Mo. This scene was witnessed by Zheng Xianjing. Zheng Xianjing gestured Sun Yulan to come over. Sun Yulan quietly walked towards her. "Xianjing? Yulan, come over here." Sun Yulan moved closer to listen. Within Zheng Xianjing's eyes, a calculating glint flashed as she whispered something quietly. "What a splendid day. Not only did she get a chance to expose Li Xianxian's true identity in public, but she could also embarrass Yang to the last. Hearing this, Sun Yulan's eyes reflected a sense of smugness and she said, "Thank you, Xianjing." Xianjing replied with a smile, "My pleasure." "He'll go over now," said Sun Yulan. Xianjing nodded. Sun Yulan returned to Yang's side and continued the conversation. "Yang, I heard you're just a junior high school student, right?" Yang didn't avoid the question and nodded directly. "A junior high school student?" Upon hearing this, everyone's expressions varied significantly. In this wealthy family, the lowest educational level among girls was a college degree, with many holding master's or doctoral degrees, and many had studied abroad. However, there were none who had only graduated from junior high school except for Yang. "What's the use of being pretty? She's like a gorgeous but empty vase." Sun Yulan regained some of her confidence and said, "Yang, girls should continue their study. I graduated from the #1 middle school, and since I was admitted to a university, I have some reputation there. Do you need my help to introduce you to the principal so that you can study again at #1 middle school?" "Thank you, but I don't need it." Yang responded lightly, "I am already an inserted student in the 3rd grade of #3 middle school." People waiting for a laugh were stunned. What? Yang already entered #3 middle school? Was it arranged by the Mo family? However, the threshold for admission to #3 is high, with students usually entering based on their actual grades. If the Mo family wanted to make arrangements, they could probably only manage for admission to #1 middle school. Sun Yulan's face stiffened. She hadn't expected such a turn of events. Perhaps Yang was just boasting. #3 middle school was not a place where one could enter just like that. Sun Yulan continued, "Which class are you in?" "I am in class 5. "Class 5? What a coincidence." She could immediately expose Yang's lie. "Chu Yunyun, the daughter of Uncle Chu, is also in class 5 of #3. Do you know her?" Yang went to class 5 only twice apart from the exams. How could she know all the students of class 5? Yang said, "I've just transferred there, so I'm not quite familiar with my classmates in class 5 yet." "Really?" Sun Yulan's smile seemed a bit strange. "It's natural that you don't remember all your classmates, but Yunyun would definitely remember you." In Sun Yulan's opinion, Yang was clearly panicking. It was because she was anxious that she claimed not to know Chu Yunyun. Chapter 481. Big Slap in the Face on Sight. _4. "He'll go get Yunyun." On the side, one of the girls could hardly wait to see Yang make a fool of herself. Exposing Yang's lies in front of everyone would certainly make her extremely embarrassed. Chu Yunyun was quickly called over. As she walked in their direction, there was no joy in her eyes upon seeing her classmates. The triumphant look on Sun Yulan's face became more apparent. She knew very well that Chu Yunyun would definitely not know Yang. The others also wore disdainful expressions while watching Yang. Why learn bad habits at such a tender age? Having to resort to lying. She's too vain. While she's not a student at City #3 middle school, she boasts about having passed their transfer student exam. Just then Chu Yunyun, who had a plain expression at first, suddenly lit up and quickly walked over to Yang, exclaiming in surprise, "Yang, it really is you. I thought I had seen wrong just now." Chu Yunyun has severe myopia, so she didn't notice Yang at the beginning, hence her indifference. Yang smiled and nodded. Now Sun Yulan's face hung in the balance. "Yunyun, do you know Yang?" Chu Yunyun said, "Yang is a well-known figure in our school. She ranks first in the transfer student exam. Not just me, nobody in the school would not know who Yang is." After all, Yang was ranked first and she was beautiful. It was too hard for everyone to forget about her. Ranked first. Sun Yulan's face changed. She had no idea that Yang would be so excellent. Now, instead of being the one to humiliate, she herself got humiliated. The faces of other people around were also not looking good. They originally wanted to witness a joke, but they were repeatedly left red-faced. At this moment, an elderly woman with white hair recognized Yang. "Young lady, weren't you the girl who gifted the longevity picture at the last birthday feast?" The longevity picture that Yang had presented last time had left a deep impression on everyone. Afterwards, some people who were uninformed even offered a handsome amount to buy the longevity picture, but they were refused by Mrs. Mo. Old Lady Mo chimed in, Yes, the one who presented the longevity picture was Yang. Don't underestimate her age, she knows a lot. Xiaodai's illness was also cured by her." Old Lady Imo took the opportunity to extol Yang. Aren't good daughters-in-law meant to be boasted about? Yang ran into Xianxia on her way to the bathroom. To be precise, Xianxia had purposely sought her out. Yang. Xianxia looked at Yang, a triumphant smile on her face. What's the matter? Yang raised her eyes slightly. Yang, Xianxia proudly stuck out her tummy, impregnant. Yang's tone was neutral. I know. It's Imo Baichuan's child. Xianxia said, looking extremely pleased with herself. Yes. Xianxia was here to claim her sovereignty. From start to finish, she had never considered Zheng Xianjing as a threat. Her real enemy was Yang. After all, there was the precedent from the previous life. That's why she could not let her guard down. She couldn't let anyone snatch Imo Baichuan from her. What is it that you want to say? Yang arched her eyebrows slightly. I already know all that. Also, let me tell you a secret, Xianxia continued. Do you know who Imo Baichuan really is? Yang remained silent. Xianxia, feeling elated, said, he is Mr. Mog. And in the future, he'll be Mrs. Mog. Mrs. Mog. That was an enviable title to everyone. How does that concern me? Yang was not concerned about who Mog was. In other words, it did not matter who Mr. Mog was. It had absolutely nothing to do with her. Xianxia curved up the corners of her mouth. Yang, stop pretending. I know you are feeling miserable. But it's pointless for you to feel bad now. As long as I'm by Baichuan's side, you'll never stand a chance to snatch him away. The winner of this life is her. Yang was destined to be nothing more than a stepping stone. Yang also didn't get angry. Instead, she looked at her calmly with a smile. Seeing Yang's calm demeanor, Xianxia suddenly felt panic rising in her heart. She refused to believe that Yang would easily give up on Imo Baichuan. Now that she is married to Imo Baichuan, and in the future, only she will get to stay by Imo Kishin's side. Keeping Yang around would always pose a threat. It seems she needs to find a way to get rid of Yang. Xianxia squinted her eyes. Soon it was 12 o'clock, and the wedding would start in just 18 minutes. The wedding was set to take place in the Imo family's back garden. By this time, everyone was heading towards the back garden. Yang and Imo Chishin were not in a hurry, following behind the crowd leisurely. Chapter 482, Big Slap in the Face on Site. _5. Yang. Just then someone slapped Yang's shoulder. Yanran. Yang glanced back slightly, laughing. Yanran, when did you get here? I had something up this morning, so I just got here. Feeling emptiness in his hand, Imo Chishin threw an unhappy glance at Li Yanran. Li Yanran was joking around with Yang, when she suddenly felt a chill and looked back, murmuring, strange, why do I feel like someone's watching me from behind? It's rather chilly. Yang laughed. Who's looking at you? Your secret admirer? Imo Chishin. It's the person who wants to slap her to death. Bro. Xiaozhou came over from the other side. What's wrong with you, bro? Why the long face? It's your nephew's big day today, you should be happy. Imo Chishin squinted. You go and get her out of here. Who? Xiaozhou asked curiously. Li Yanran. Imo Chishin uttered coldly. Why send her away? Xiaozhou asked in confusion. Isn't she happily chatting with Yang over there? You go your own way, she goes hers. She's not in your way. Why are you making things difficult for the girl? Have you been in love before? Imo Chishin looked at Xiaozhou, answering out of context. No. Xiaozhou shook his head. Do you want to get a girlfriend? Imo Chishin asked again. Yes. Xiaozhou said excitedly. Bro, why don't you teach me how to find a girlfriend? My requirements aren't high. Any girl will do. He has been unable to find one. Imo Chishin sighed. You better prepare to be a bachelor for the rest of your life. Why? Xiaozhou was heartbroken. Imo Chishin said, because you don't have what it takes to be in a relationship. The wedding auditorium was divided into two sides by a long aisle covered in red carpet. As soon as Yang sat down, Imo Baichuan, standing on the stage rehearsing lines with the MC, saw him. Yang came after all. Imo Baichuan thought Yang wouldn't show up. He squinted, a touch of wariness flickering in his eyes. He absolutely couldn't let Yang ruin their wedding. Seeing Yang finally settled down, Imo Chishin quickly sat down next to him. Yang was chatting with Li Yanran, while Imo Chishin was lowering his gaze, counting her fingers one by one, playing with them in his hand. Her slender fingers, with no color on the nails, were lovely with their faint pink whiteness. They were as delicate as rows of small seashells. 12:18. The wedding ceremony officially began. With the MC's introduction, Mo Baichuan and Li Xianxian, dressed in a Western-style wedding dress, slowly emerged from backstage. The flower children were scattering petals ahead. A round of applause erupted from below the stage. Upon seeing Ni Yang made no move from below the stage, Mo Baichuan heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, there was a twinge of disappointment in his heart. He couldn't explain why. He clearly didn't look forward to Ni Yang disrupting the wedding. Yet when Ni Yang made no move, he grew anxious. Was Ni Yang planning something big? That's why he hadn't made another move yet? After the MC's introduction and interaction, the next part was the priest's vow. Ni Yang glanced at Zheng Xianjing nonchalantly. Zheng Xianjing was staring intently at the stage, her face focused as if deep in thought. Ni Yang picked up a cup of tea and took a gentle sip. Just then the priest's voice came through the air. Mr. Mo Baichuan, in poverty, illness, difficulty, pain, wealth, health, joy, happiness, do you vow to not abandon Miss Li Xianxian and to love and cherish her lifelong? Before Mo Baichuan could answer, a clear female voice sounded from below the stage. Wait. The smile on Li Xianxian's face instantly froze at the corners of her mouth, and she glanced down at the stage. She had been worried about Ni Yang causing trouble at the wedding. She had never expected that the person causing trouble was Zheng Xianjing. What was Zheng Xianjing trying to do? A sense of dread suddenly surged in Li Xianxian's heart. Ma'am, do you have a question? The priest looked at Zheng Xianjing. Zheng Xianjing smiled. I just wanted to give the bride a personal wedding gift before the vows. Saying this, Zheng Xianjing walked towards the stage. Dressed in a bright red gown, she was quite ostentatious, stealing the limelight from the bride. What was supposed to be just a regular wedding, no one expected would churn out such a scene. Chapter 483, Big Slap in the Face on Sight. _6. No one knew what Zheng Xianjing was up to. Old Mrs. Zheng looked at Zheng Lingling with a pale face. Lingling, what does Xianjing want to do? Zheng Lingling said, Mom, don't worry, Xianjing is a sensible girl, she won't do anything outrageous. Old Mrs. Zheng continued, Are you mother and daughter hiding something from me? No, Mom, Zheng Lingling responded with a smile. Mom, you are overthinking. Old Mrs. Zheng frowned. What is Xianjing doing on the stage? She doesn't know how many eyes are watching her from under the stage. Her every word and move represents the Zheng family. Any slight misstep would give people a handle against us. Zheng Lingling said, Baichuan and Xianjing have grown up together. Now that Baichuan is getting married, it's only right that Xianjing prepares a small gift. Is it really just giving a gift? Old Mrs. Zheng continued. Zheng Lingling smiled and said, Mom, you'll see. Old Mrs. Zheng was very worried, fearing that Zheng Xianjing would do something outrageous. Ni Yang sat in the audience, eating the sunflower seeds peeled by Mo Qishan, while watching the stage. Yang, what do you think Zheng Xianjing wants to do? Li Yanran scooted closer with curiosity on her face. Do you think Zheng Xianjing is trying to elope? Ni Yang responded calmly. Didn't Zheng Xianjing say she has a big gift? Big gift. Li Yanran said, looks more like Zheng Xianjing wants to make a scene at the wedding. Who would dress more flashy than the bride on her wedding day? There was clearly malicious intent. The audience was getting excited. The priest, prompted by Li Xianxian's hinted glance, turned to Zheng Xianjing. Miss Zheng, could you deliver your gift privately so as not to postpone the auspicious time? Zheng Xianjing replied, I won't be long. Look, the gift is coming. A child around 5 or 6 was slowly approaching from the end of the red carpet. Upon seeing Li Xianxian, his steps suddenly quickened. Mom! He ran over and hugged Li Xianxian. The color on Li Xianxian's face changed drastically in a moment, but quickly reverted back to normal. Stay calm, she can't panic, that little bastard is long dead. There must be some misunderstanding here. The audience exchanged glances, seeing confusion in each other's eyes. Li Xianxian bent low and tenderly looking at Fua. Little friend, you must have mistaken me for someone else. I didn't mistake you for someone else. You are my mom. Fua's eyes reddened all of a sudden. Mom, don't you want Fua anymore? Fua? Jo Fua? It was as if Li Xianxian had been doused with a bucket of icy water from head to toe, chilling her to the bone. How is this little bastard still alive? As a reborn individual, Li Xianxian never left any risks for herself. In her memory of the future, Zhou Tianba's legs were broken due to a theft, and due to not receiving prompt medical treatment, he eventually died from an infected wound. And Zhou Fuwa disappeared without a trace after Zhou Tianba's death. According to her memories from the future, Zhou Tianbao and Zhou Fuwa had been in trouble for over a month. So why was Zhou Fuwa still perilously standing here? This must be Zheng Xianjing trying to scare her with a decoy. Li Xianxian put in great effort to maintain her smile, saying softly, "Little friend, you really have me mistaken for someone else." Zheng Xianjing looked at Li Xianxian with a mocking expression in her eyes. Li Xianxian. "Oh no, comrade Sundalian, don't you recognize your own son whom you carried for 10 months? Chapter 484, Green Hat. _1. Sundalian. Upon hearing these 3 words, Li Xianxian's face turned white. Zheng Xianjing knew. Zheng Xianjing knew about the secret she had tried desperately to hide. What now? Li Xianxian had never dreamt that Zheng Xianjing would know about this. The audience below the stage were all shocked. The bride actually had a son. His real name was Sundalian. In other words, Mo Baichuan actually married a woman who was already used. This was too explosive. Li Xianxian tried hard to calm herself down. She turned to look at Zheng Xianjing and frowned. "Sister Xianjing, I know you've always liked Baichuan, and you even tried to harm me with drugs because of this. Now you're here spouting nonsense. The guests present here are not fools. Do you think they will believe you?" At this moment, Li Xianxian had to hold her ground. She couldn't let Zheng Xianjing get her way. No one could ruin her wedding. Zheng Xianjing only brought Zhou Fuwa, which meant that Zhou Tianbao was already dead. Zhou Tianbao was dead, so what could a young child possibly do? With this thought, Li Xianxian felt a bit more relieved. Upon hearing her words, the anger on Mo Baichuan's face gradually dissipated. Yes, he had misunderstood Li Xianxian once. At a time like this, he couldn't let Li Xianxian be wronged again. Zheng Xianjing, like Ai Yang, was determined to marry him and so had tried every means to undermine Li Xianxian. "Xianjing, stop causing trouble." Mo Baichuan looked at Zheng Xianjing, his eyes full of warning. Zheng Xianjing said, "Brother Baichuan, I'm not causing trouble. I'm very clear about what I'm doing. It wasn't me who framed Li Xianxian last time, it was her setting me up. Li Xianxian is not a good woman at all, she abandoned her husband and her child. She doesn't deserve you. Last time, if it wasn't for Li Xianxian deliberately misleading her, she wouldn't have fallen into Li Xianxian's trap. This time, she would not let this mean woman continue to get her way." Li Xianxian looked at Mo Baichuan with a wronged expression, like someone trying to find a reason to frame her. The occurrence of this incident at the wedding made the faces of the elder Mr. and Mrs. Mo quite embarrassed. The faces of Mo Rongping and Xiao Jiao turned even uglier. Zheng Xianjing had really crossed the line this time. Could she just make such accusations about abandoning husband and children? From their understanding of Li Xianxian over this period, she was not such a person. She was gentle, kind, understanding, respectful to elders, and an extraordinary daughter-in-law. Xiao Jiao had no daughters of her own, and through the time they had spent together, she had come to regard Li Xianxian as her own daughter, and she absolutely did not believe that Li Xianxian would do such a thing. Zheng Xianjing insulting Li Xianxian like this, wasn't it like slapping the Mo family in the face? "Auntie Zheng, is Xianjing not feeling well lately? Does she know what she's doing?" Xiao Jiao walked over to Mrs. Zheng, and asked calmly while suppressing her anger. Madame Zheng was so angry that her face turned white. She started to cough violently and turned to Zheng Lingling. "You go call Xianjing back. Tell her to stop causing trouble." Zheng Lingling responded, "Mom, don't be angry for now. Sister-in-law, just be a little more patient. You've watched Xianjing grow up since she was little, do you think she's the type of person to talk nonsense?" Xiao Jiao asserted angrily, "I believe Xianxian is not that kind of person. Sister-in-law, there's no smoke without fire. One should judge a person on more than just their appearance." Zheng Lingling continued, "The innocent reveals itself. If Li Xianxian is truly innocent, then no matter what, we can't wrongly accuse her." Xiao Jiao warned, "Lingling, our two families are old friends, but let me speak bluntly today. When it turns out that it's Xianjing making something out of nothing, you must apologize to Xianxian and clear her name." At this stage, only if the Zheng family personally stepped in to apologize to Li Xianxian could the situation be salvaged. Zheng Lingling nodded, "Sister-in-law, rest assured. If it does turn out to be that Xianjing tried to frame someone for no reason, we will personally apologize to Li Xianxian and ask her forgiveness." Xiao Jiao snorted coldly. On the wedding stage, Fua tugged at Li Xianxian's skirt, begging, Mom, please don't abandon me and Dad. The episode stirred up such a fuss that the guests started to discuss amongst themselves. Mo Baichuan's gaze involuntarily moved towards Ni Yang. Amid the unexpected turn of events at the wedding, the happiest person should be Ni Yang, right? Chapter 485, Green Hat. _2. I wonder if Ni Yang and Zheng Xianjing together designed this stunt. After all, they're birds of a feather. Mo Baichuan narrowed his eyes. Little fellow. Li Xianxian looked at Fua gently. You've mistaken me for someone else. I'm really not your mother. Amidst his crying, Fua insisted, You are my mother. You really are my mother. Li Xianxian left when Zhou Fua was barely a year old, an infant. What could an infant remember? These words were surely Zheng Xianjing's doing. Reunited with her biological son after 6 years, Li Xianxian felt not the expected emotional stirrings, but endless regret. She regretted leaving too hurriedly and not ending the little monster's life. If only she had killed him, there would be no troubles like these today. From above, Zheng Xianjing watched Li Xianxian, an expression full of mockery on her face. Li Xianxian, you heartless witch. You're so desperate to marry into a wealthy family, you won't even acknowledge your own child. Zheng Xianjing. Li Xianxian shot up, her eyes locked onto Xianjing. Today is my wedding day. That's why I've been tolerating you. But be warned, I may behave like a pushover, but am not. Push me one more time and you'll see my wrath. If she continued bearing everything in silence, Xianjing might mistake her for a sick cat. With a small laugh, Xianjing continued, Li Xianxian, stop pretending. Your real name is Sun Dalian, currently 21 years old. At 16 you had a son, Zhou Fua, with Zhou Tianbao from your village. At 17 you abandoned Zhou Tianbao and Fua, and came to Beijing alone, changing your name to Li Xianxian. She paused. Furthermore, as far as I know, you're not an orphan. Your mother's name is Li Shu, and your father's son Shiwu, who just recently was imprisoned for murder. The only reason you've concealed your identity and name is because you're scared people would uncover your past of deserting your husband and child and having a murderer for a father. A wave of blood seemed to surge painfully through Li Xianxian's body. She had come prepared, but never anticipated Xianjing would know so much about her past. How did Zheng Xianjing know all this? Why was Zheng Xianjing out to ruin her? With a small smile, Zheng Xianjing asked, Sun Dalian, do you still claim that I'm making all this up? There were murmurs of astonishment from the crowd. No one had expected Li Xianxian to have such a past. Even the elder Mo's were deeply shocked. Xiao Jiao's face twitched. Gauging by Xianjing's sure tone, could it be true? You are making it all up. You just love Baichuan. The sole purpose of your actions is jealousy because I am marrying Baichuan. Li Xianxian, tears streaming down her face, defended, I know I'm not matched for you being from a rich family, but I am now carrying Baichuan's child. A child needs a father. Sister Xianjing, I beg you to stop pushing me. Can you let me and my child live? With her final words, Li Xianxian fell to her knees. Many guests had been invited to the wedding, but only a few close to the Mo family knew that Li Xianxian was pregnant. Her words held two meanings. She made herself the victim and revealed her pregnancy to everyone present. Since she was pregnant, no matter what happened, the Mo family should not ignore her. Her words instantly swayed the pendulum in her favor. People are inclined to sympathize with the weak. Witnessing Li Xianxian kneeling down, the crowd instinctively sided with her. Li Xianxian is so pitiful. She has been forced into this state by Zheng Xianjing. Zheng Xianjing is shameless. Mo Baichuan is already getting married, but she still can't let him go. Suddenly the scapegoat of public criticism, Zheng Xianjing steadied herself, then responded, Sun Dalian, there's undeniable evidence of your relationship with Fua. He's your son and you can't abandon him. Also, your father in prison, Sun Shiwu, I believe he would recognize his own daughter. Oh, and there's also your previous man Zhou Tianbao. Zhou Tianbao? Is Zhou Tianbao not dead? Who's Zhou Tianbao? I don't know her. Li Xianxian strongly denied, still kneeling on the ground. Chapter 486, Green Hat. _3. Sun Dalian. I could forgive you for being unfaithful. But now you even deny our own son Fua. Have you no heart left? An angry voice suddenly erupts from the crowd. Everyone turns towards the source of the voice and sees the frail figure of Zhou Tianbao. Daddy. Upon seeing Zhou Tianbao, Fua breaks into a smile through his tears and joyfully runs towards him. Daddy, I found Mommy. But Mommy doesn't want me anymore. His words trail off into sadness. Is it because Fua's not good enough? That's why Mommy doesn't want Fua anymore. Zhou Tianbao picks up Fua and slowly approaches Li Xianxian. From the crowd, Li Yanran excitedly exclaims, I knew that Li Xianxian wasn't any good. I didn't expect that she even has a son. And that she abandoned both her husband and her son. Tiske, she is truly shameless. Ni Yang remains silent, his expression indifferent, as if he stands apart from the crowd. Mo Qishan, standing next to him, is even more composed. Yang, do you want some sunflower seeds? No. Ni Yang shakes his head. Well, how about some grapes? You must be thirsty from eating sunflower seeds for so long. As he speaks, Mo Qishan begins to peel grapes for Ni Yang and even brings a grape up to his lips. Bro, Xiaozhou nudges Mo Qishan's shoulder. With all this happening to the Mo family, aren't you worried at all? At this point of crisis, Mo Qishan is surprisingly still in the mood to peel grapes. If Xiaozhou hadn't known Mo Qishan since elementary school, he would be convinced that Mo Qishan's family name was Ni, not Mo. Mo Qishan replies indifferently, what good would it do if I were to worry? Instead of that, I might as well do something worthwhile. With that, he turns back to peeling grapes for Ni Yang. Xiaozhou. So, doing something worthwhile means peeling grapes for Ni Yang? It's obvious that Mo Qishan will be henpecked if he ever gets married. From the corner of her eye, she watches Zhou Tianbao slowly approaching her. Cold sweat breaks out along Li Xianxian's spine. Why didn't Zhou Tianbao die? Why is Zhou Tianbao still alive? The sight of Zhou Tianbao brings back unbearable memories for Li Xianxian. What can she do now? No. Everything she had worked so hard to achieve, she couldn't let someone else take it all away. She can't lose. I don't know you. Li Xianxian stares at Zhou Tianbao and his son. You are actors hired by Xianjing. I have no quarrel with you. Why are you doing this to me? Baichuan, get them out of here. Li Xianxian struggles to her feet, and like a drowning person clutching at straws, she grabs Mo Baichuan's arm. Zhou Tianbao looks at Mo Baichuan. So you're the woman who stole my wife? You and her deserve each other. Your evil deeds will come back to haunt you. Zhou Tianbao is dark and thin with a stooped back. He looks at least 40 or 50 years old. How could Li Xianxian possibly be attracted to him? Mo Baichuan frowns and barks angrily, where is security? Get this madman out of here. In this age, security is a burgeoning industry. In common parlance, they are referred to as door guards, but among the elite circles, the term security is starting to catch on. Hearing this, 5 or 6 security guards immediately approach from the crowd. Zhou Tianbao puts down Zhou Fua and grabs Li Xianxian's arm. If I have to leave, I'll take my wife with me. Mommy? Zhou Fua bursts into tears and clings to Li Xianxian's leg. I want Mommy. They are kidnapping. The Mo family is kidnapping people. Is there no justice left in this world? Calls of protest and cries of alarm mix into a confusing cacophony. Li Xianxian is panicking. She is truly panicking now. Her wedding dress is ruined. Her makeup smears. Her meticulously planned event is ruined. Does she really have to give up? All of you stop. The elderly Mrs. Mo strides onto the stage, sharply rapping her cane on the floor. With the situation spiraling out of control, Madame Mo has no choice but to take control. The formidable command of a woman who had been through battles in her youth resonates through the room. As soon as she speaks, a hushed silence falls over the crowd. Madam, I can tell you are a person who can resolve things. Please, you must help us, father and son. Zhou Tianbao breaks into sobs as he approaches Madame. Madam, please give me back my mother. Fua steps forward and tugs at the edge of Mrs. Mo's dress. Chapter 487, Green Hat. _4. Fua, skinny and small, showed tear streaks on his face to the point that it was heartbreaking for Mo family's old lady to watch, especially if what he was saying was all true. Then Li Xianxian was absolutely inhuman. Grandma, I truly don't know these people. Li Xianxian kneeled down and seized the old lattice wrist. Be quiet. The old lady turned her gaze towards Zhou Tianbao and his son, Fua, continuing, You say Li Xianxian is your wife. Do you have any proof? Did you get a marriage certificate? Zhou Tianbao started to calm down. Son Dalian started living with me when she was 16. We didn't have a marriage certificate back then, but I have this. Having said this, he took out a photograph from his pocket and handed it to the old lady. Although the photo was in black and white, it did not affect its clarity. The people clearly visible in the picture were Li Xianxian and Zhou Tianbao. This picture was taken in the photography studio in town on the day when Li Xianxian and Zhou Tianbao were together. If Li Xianxian had known this day would come, she would never have agreed to take this picture. Even now, she never quite understood. Why on earth would she have chosen someone like Zhou Tianbao? Why couldn't she have been reborn earlier? If she had been, she absolutely would not have set eyes on Zhou Tianbao. The moment he saw the photograph, Mo Baichuan's face abruptly changed. Every other piece of evidence could be faked. But the photo could not be. In this era, Photoshop technology has not yet been invented. The others in the audience stretched their necks, straining to get a view of the photograph and whispering amongst themselves. This person is not me. Grandma, this person is not me. Li Xianxian shook her head, her face pale, and pulled at Mo Baichuan's sleeve. Baichuan, believe me. Baichuan. The old lady maintained her composure, continuing, what can a single photograph prove? Li Xianxian currently had the Mo family's legitimate great-grandson in her belly, so the old lady knew she had to tread carefully. Zhou Tianbao said, I know another secret. The old lady said, what secret? Zhou Tianbao cast a glance at Li Xianxian. Sun Dalian has a red birthmark on the left side of her chest. The chest was a private area. Li Xianxian kept denying knowing Zhou Tianbao, so how did he know about this? Mo Baichuan's face darkened, looking incredibly ugly upon realizing he had been duped by Li Xianxian, who fooled him with her virginity claims when he was drunk. A woman who intended to marry into the Mo family while being married and having a child, how deluded could she be? She had utterly humiliated him in front of so many people. As the old lady watched Mo Baichuan's face growing steadily more serious, she became certain that Zhou Tianbao was not lying. Chapter 488, Green Hat. _5. No wonder he had no memories after being drunk, yet Li Ting insisted that he kept holding Li Xianxian's hand. As it turned out, Li Xianxian and Li Ting had been in cahoots all along. Mo Baichuan clenched his fists, suppressing the rage in his heart. He could never have imagined that his best friend would betray him one day. From Mrs. Mo's point of view, she could see the picture clearly. Her face turned pale instantly, but she held back her anger due to the presence of so many people, and told Zhou Tianbao, take her away. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Zhou Tianbao continuously expressed his gratitude, bowing deeply. Grandma. Grandma. You can't do this. I carry the flesh and blood of the Mo family in my womb. Li Xianxian clung to Mrs. Mo's leg, crying out. Mom? Xiao Jiao and Mo Rongping walked up to Mrs. Mo. No matter what, Li Xianxian was carrying the Mo family's child. Even if Li Xianxian really did something wrong, they should let her give birth to the child first. An innocent child. How could they allow their child to be abandoned? The child became Li Xianxian's last bargaining chip. Mrs. Mo sighed and said to Zheng Xianjing, Xianjing, show the picture to your uncles and aunts. Upon seeing the picture, disbelief spread across the faces of Xiao Jiao and Mo Rongping. They originally thought that even if Li Xianxian had previously been married and had children, the Mo family couldn't reject the child she carried now. What they didn't expect was that this child wasn't Mo Baichuan's at all. Li Xianxian was just a promiscuous woman. Xiao Jiao, losing her temper, slapped Li Xianxian's face. Regardless of her good upbringing, she couldn't contain her anger at this moment. Bitch. You bitch. Li Xianxian's head was skewed from the slap, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. She collapsed onto the ground. Her face was as pale as a piece of dry wood. What? Why did it have to be this way? Dalian, let's go home. Zhou Tianbao came over and tried to lift Li Xianxian. Get away. Li Xianxian glared at Zhou Tianbao. Don't touch me. Mo Baichuan looked at the security guard nearby, ordering them coldly, get her out of here. Yes, sir. The bodyguards immediately stepped forward, lifting Li Xianxian up by her arms and dragging her away, like she was a dead dog. Li Xianxian was a pregnant woman. How could she possibly resist two men? All she could do was shout out in vain. But no one behind her responded. Zheng Xianjing. It was all because of that bitch Zheng Xianjing. If it were not for her, the wedding would have gone on perfectly today. She should not have underestimated her. She should not have disregarded Zheng Xianjing. She must make Zheng Xianjing pay the price. She must. Mrs. Mo looked at the guests below the stage and apologized. I'm terribly sorry. Our MO family failed to discern people's true colors, making all of you witness such a farce. The ruckus for today ends here. Please move to the front hall. The crowd was bustling as everyone moved towards the front hall. After such an incident, they naturally wouldn't want to stay at the MO household any longer. In a blink of an eye, the previously lively MO family home became eerily quiet. Mrs. and Mr. MO, the couple of MO Rongping and Xiao Jiao, along with the other sons and daughters-in-law of the MO family, were all sitting solemnly in the living room. This incident had somewhat impacted the reputation of the MO family. Where's Chuan? Mrs. MO turned to ask Xiao Jiao. Xiao Jiao sighed. Chuan is upset. He should have gone back to his room. Mrs. MO continued, I am also to blame for this. If I hadn't forcibly pushed Sun Dalian toward Chuan in the first place, none of this would have happened. Now that it had come to this, Mrs. Mo was racked with remorse. It was all her fault. She had misunderstood people's intentions. Xiao Jiao said, Mom, you can't blame yourself, you were just considering Chuan's interests. The one to blame is Sun Dalian for her deep scheming. She even deceived me. Who would believe that Xianxia was such a person if they didn't see it with their own eyes? She hid it too well. Xianxia was dragged to the entrance of the Mo family's mansion by the security and Zhou Tianbao. The departing guests, passing by Xianxia, had nothing but contempt, mockery and disdain in their eyes. All kinds of looks were woven together like a sharp sword. This kind of harm was far more damaging than any verbal attack. Feeling everyone's gaze, Xianxia only wanted to hide in a crevice. She was laying on the ground, her hands tightly clenched, gripping a large handful of dirt, her once pristine fingernails stained. Her present appearance bore no resemblance to her former self. She couldn't lose. She couldn't afford to lose. How could Xiaxin lose after all she had strived to achieve to date? She would make Zheng Xianjing meet an awful end. A mocking female voice overhead echoed, Why is the bride lying on the ground? Xianxia looked up and saw Zheng Xianjing's smug face. Zheng Xianjing bent down and whispered, Xianxia, or rather I should call you Sun Dalian now. I told you before, I will marry the person I want to marry. You're no match for me. At last, Xianxia had been pulled down from her pedestal. How could Zheng Xianjing not be delighted deep within? Xianxia stared at her fixedly, her eyes wide open, as though she intended to dislodge them from her eye sockets. Zheng Lingling walked over from the side, jeering, Xianjing, why waste time on such a person? You might tarnish your eyes. Let's go. Okay, Mom? I'm coming. Zheng Xianjing stood up and walked over to Zheng Lingling. After the mother-daughter duo departed confidently, Xianxia stared at their retreating figures, her spiteful gaze as if wanting to pierce through them. Bitch. Xianxian's arm was violently pulled up. The one pulling Xianxian's arm was none other than Zhou Tianbao. Xianxia was pulled along by him while Zhou Fua followed, looking at Xianxia with indifference. On reaching Walt Road, Zhou Tianbao locked Xianxia in a room and started beating her. Let go of me. Zhou Tianbao, please let me go. Xianxia lay wounded on the ground pleading with Zhou Tianbao. Hearing this, Zhou Tianbao responded by delivering a vicious kick to Xianxia. Dream on, you wretch. They'll never let you go in this lifetime. Xianxian's white wedding gown had turned black now. News of this event quickly spread throughout Beijing's social circles. The Writers' Association was also swiftly informed. Xianxia had quite a reputation in the literary world. An article she had published recently had even amazed the literary community's seniors, leading them to personally commend it. How could someone who could write such excellent articles commit such an act? Where is Xianxia now? Bring her over quickly. Such talent is encountered once in 100 years. We simply can't let her just perish. People in the literary world discovered the distraught and ragged Xianxia at Walt Road immediately. Upon meeting the literary figures, Xianxia's previously dull eyes brightened. She almost forgot she had another identity, a writer. In the literary world, Xianxia was treated with great respect. For a brief moment, it seemed like Xianxia returned to her glorious days of old. In those few days, Xianxia produced another masterpiece of 30,000 words in a single stride and planned to submit it to the chairman after revising. In the chairman's office. Mr. Chairman, there is a gentleman calling himself Mr. Mo outside, along with a little girl who wishes to see you. The chairman of the literary world was a very kind middle-aged man. Hearing this, he put down his pen and asked, What do they want from me? The assistant hesitated, then said, It's about plagiarism. In this circle, plagiarism is a major concern. The chairman immediately said, Bring them in to see me right away. Chapter 489, Continuous Face Slapping. _1. As it was a matter of plagiarism, the chief took the meeting with great seriousness. The visitors appeared to be a father and daughter duo. The man was elegant and handsome, with an invisible aura that demanded attention. The child he held by the hand was exquisite. Yet still, whenever glimpsed through the eyes of the child, it was the man who reflected through. It was no one else but Xianxia and Hudy. Hello. The chief greeted first. He had met countless people in his life, and he could tell this man was not ordinary. Hello, Chief Lu. The man nodded slightly. Please sit. The chief turned to the assistant. Go and pour Mr. Mo some tea. All right. The assistant turned to make the tea. Xianxia didn't immediately respond to the Chief Lu. Instead he introduced, this is my niece Hudy, pen name Butterfly Fly. Pen name Butterfly Fly? This little girl looked to be under 10. Was she already writing at such a young age? Hudy greeted politely, hello Uncle Chief. Hello little Butterfly Fly. Within their circle, everyone referred to each other by their pen names. At this, Chief Lu turned again to Xianxia. May I ask Mr. Mo, are you here to defend little Butterfly Fly? Despite having not introduced his own pen name, Xianxia first introduced Hudy, hinting that he was here for her, not himself. At this point, Chief Lu was becoming curious. What type of work could come from someone so young as Hudy? Xianxia nodded slightly, handing over 2 prepared notebooks to Chief Lu. You will understand if you take a look at these. The notebooks were thick with writing, innocent scribbles maturing to graceful, spirited handwriting, tracking the growth of a little girl. Chief Lu read with great concentration, his face growing more rigid. Does Chief Lu think he's seen these somewhere before? Xianxia interjected at the right time. These were all written by Butterfly Fly? Chief Lu was both shocked and incredulous. Yes. Xianxia nodded. Chief Lu continued, but these are the works of Xianxia, one of our association's authors. This was before the internet and communication was not as developed. The distribution of literary works depended on newspapers and physical publications. There had been instances of plagiarism, albeit a small percentage. It would have been believable if Hudy was accused of plagiarizing Xianxia, but vice versa was indeed hard to fathom. After all, Hudy was merely a preteen girl. Ordinarily, a child of her age could barely read, let alone produce works of such caliber. With a steady expression, Xianxia said, it was Xianxia who stole Xiaodai's works. Chief Liu's face darkened. That's impossible. He had always admired Xianxia's talent. He was a fan. He simply could not accept that she would plagiarize. Observing Chief Liu's thoughts, Xianxia continued, Chief Lu, you must not dismiss her talent simply due to Xiaodai's age. These works are all products of Xiaodai's hard work. I've heard that Chief Lu is a person who values talent, and I hope you can be objective in handling this. Chief Lu adjusted the glasses on his nose. I can't label Xianxia as a plagiarizer based on your one-sided account. We need to investigate this matter. Plagiarism is serious. It shouldn't be decided lightly. Also, Hudy's works hadn't been published yet, whereas Xianxia's work had already been in circulation for several months. If you were to pinpoint someone as plagiarizing, it would seem that Hudy was the one who plagiarized. Suggesting that Xianxia plagiarized was a claim that didn't hold water. Xianxia frowned. I understand Chief Liu's concern. The reason Xiaodai's works have not been published is due to a health issue. She has been bedridden for a while. It is during this period that Xianxia plagiarized Xiaodai's original work and beat us to publication. Xianxia quickly summarized Hudy's situation to Chief Lu. Mr. Mo, everything requires evidence. You claim Xianxia plagiarized and she can sue you for defamation. There's no evidence of plagiarism, but the defamation is a fact. These are the works that Xiaodai created a year ago. They are now under review for publication by Yipin Literature Publishing House. Xianxia handed over a document. Chief Lu was shocked as he looked through the handed documents. He found it hard to believe that this work came from the hands of a child in her early teens. Did you really write this? Chief Lu crouched down to eye level with Hudy. Chapter 490, Constant Face Slapping. _2. Hudy nodded. Chair Lu continued, can you tell me, what was your initial intention in writing this piece? Mo Hudi responded, when I was writing this article, I was seriously ill, being tormented daily. The most relaxed time during the day was probably when I was writing. Reality was too cruel, so I filled my words with all the beautiful things. I hope there's no illness in this world and everyone is happy. In Mo Hudi's words, there was not a trace of negativity towards life. If one didn't witness her plight firsthand, it would be hard to believe that such resonant prose actually came from a little girl bedridden with illness. Chair Lu was taken aback. At this moment there was a knock at the door. Chair Lu stood up, adjusted his glasses and said, "Come in." The person outside the door came in and walked up to Chair Lu, handing him a document. "Chair, this is a manuscript that Comrade Xianxia stayed up all night to complete." As Chair Lu put a lot of emphasis on Xianxia, all her new works were delivered to him as soon as they were completed. Chair Lu reached out to take the document. After flipping through a few pages, his face suddenly turned unsightly. Because the work that Xianxia just completed was exactly the same as the work that Mo Hudi had written a year ago. Yet, many sentences in Li's piece lacked the beauty of Hudi's original, and had a forced, pieced-together feel. If Chair Lu hadn't seen Mo Hudi's original manuscript, he would definitely be awed by Li Xianxian's genius once again. But now Chair Lu felt embarrassed and angry. Unexpectedly, the author he personally promoted turned out to be a plagiarist. Chair Lu placed the document on the desk and said, "You go out first." The assistant was stunned. Chair Liu's reaction was too calm. Didn't he intend to praise Li Xianxian? What about the publication fee and the prize money? If it were in the past, Chair Lu would definitely lavish Li Xianxian with praise. "You go out first," Chair Lu repeated. "Oh, okay." The assistant finally reacted and turned to leave the room. After the assistant left, Chair Lu looked at Mo Chishan and said apologetically, "Mr. Mo, rest assured I will definitely seek justice for Hudi." Chair Liu's change from addressing Hudi as kid to comrade suggested his acknowledgement of Mo Hudi. "All right," Mo Chishan nodded, "I trust in Chair Liu's handling of matters." Chair Lu went on, "Also, could these original manuscripts stay with me for a few days?" "Of course." Mo Chishan continued, "Then I will not bother Chair Lu anymore. Should I say goodbye to Chair Lu?" "Goodbye, Chair Lu." After Mo Chishan and Mo Hudi left, Chair Lu compared Mo Hudi's other works with Li Xianxian's work again. Before he had only skimmed through it briefly and didn't notice any differences. But now, having made a comparison, the quality was immediately distinguishable. Li Xianxian's work only copied the rough idea, but didn't capture the essence. Whereas Mo Hudi's work was authentic and original. Chair Lu was very angry. All his life he appreciated talent and held great expectations for Li Xianxian, but he never thought Li Xianxian would plagiarize. Li Xianxian was waiting in her room for Chair Liu's praise. Seeing the assistant return empty-handed, with no sign of Chair Lu following behind, she asked curiously, "Wu Li, why did you come back alone? Where's Chair Lu?" Wu Li was also puzzled. "There was someone in Chair Liu's office when I went there." Li Xianxian continued, "So did Chair Lu see my work?" "Yes." Wu Li nodded. "Then did Chair Lu say anything?" Li Xianxian asked. "No." Wu Li answered truthfully. "Strange." Li Xianxian slightly furrowed her brows. Given Chair Liu's appreciation of her work, he shouldn't have remained silent. Could it be that Chair Lu was stunned by her talent? Perhaps he will personally come over to congratulate her in a while? Yes, that must be it. After all, her writings are groundbreaking masterpieces that shock the literary circle. Probably in the entire circle there are few who could compare with her. Wu Li went on, "If there's nothing else, then I'll go first." "All right." Li Xianxian nodded. After Wu Li left, Li Xianxian stayed in the room waiting for Chair Liu's arrival. As dusk fell, there was finally a knock on the door outside. Chapter 491. Continuous Face Slapping. _3. It's definitely Chairman Lu. Li Xianxian's heart jumps with joy. She stands up immediately to open the door. The visitor indeed is Chairman Lu, and he is followed by a few senior members of the literary circle. Chairman Lu, esteemed seniors, Li Xianxian greets them with a smile. "I'm just a young newbie in the literary world. I am unworthy of such attention from the chairman and the seniors." Before Li Xianxian can finish her sentence, Chairman Lu interrupts her, his expression cold, and throws 2 notebooks onto the table. "What are these?" The sudden change in Chairman Liu's attitude freezes the smile on Li Xianxian's face. She picks up the notebooks, flips through a few pages, and her face turns pale. Isn't this the original manuscript of M.O. Hudi? How did it end up in Chairman Liu's hands? Oh, she can't panic, she needs to calm down. She published her work 2 months ago. She is the original author. These were written by her late into the night, through painstaking effort. Mo Hudi has nothing to do with her work. Angry, Xianxia voices out, someone has plagiarized me. Chairman, you have to take a stand for me. Chairman Liu furrows his eyebrows. Are you sure they plagiarized you and not the other way around? Xianxia insists, no, not me. I published it 2 months ago. It's clear that she plagiarized me. I am the original author, who could I copy from? Xianxia's argument hinges on the fact that she was the first to publish. Since she knew from her past life that M.O. Hudi had a reputation in the world of literature, she tried to approach the M.O. family while simultaneously plotting against M.O. Hudi. Only when M.O. Hudi is gone, can she be at ease. This was her reason for orchestrating the Divine Doctor from Jiangnan to treat M.O. Hudi. The Divine Doctor had a feud with the M.O. family. So, even if M.O. Hudi were to die under his treatment, it wouldn't be related to her. As expected, the Divine Doctor didn't disappoint Xianxia. However, things took a turn because of Ni Yang. If not for Ni Yang's meddling, M.O. Hudi would have died long ago. A senior standing next to Chairman Liu addresses her. Xianxia, we have already scrutinized both your work and Hudi's. You, of all people, should be very clear about who copied whom. The difference between an original and a copy is clear to the eyes of an expert. I didn't copy anything. You're defaming me. I published my work before Hudi. How can you assert that I copied? Then how do you explain this? Chairman Liu throws Xianxia's recent work onto the table. Your manuscript was finished in haste these past few days, whereas Hudi's work was completed a year ago. Moreover, her manuscript was submitted to the Epine Literary Publishing House over a week ago. Xianxia's eyes widened. It was Hudi who stole my original manuscript. The M.O. family is trying to frame me. Chairman, please don't be fooled by them. I have not plagiarized anything. All my works are original ideas and have nothing to do with anyone else. Another senior shakes his head in defeat. Xianxia, stop struggling in vain. Your plagiarism isn't even subtle and your work is dull. It can't be compared to Hudi's original manuscript. Anyone with discerning eyes can tell who copied whom. Chairman Liu continues, Xianxia, from now on, you're no longer a part of the literary circle. On behalf of the Association of Authors, we revoke all your author privileges and honors. Henceforth you won't be able to publish any books. In other words, Xianxia has been completely blacklisted in the literary world. Xianxia's face turns from pale to ghostly white. I didn't plagiarize, Chairman, I really didn't. Chairman Liu speaks with disappointment. Please leave. Another senior member voices out angrily, you still don't know how to repent. Xianxia, you are a disgrace to our literary world. But how could Xianxia simply leave? The literary circle is her only sanctuary now. If she leaves, wouldn't that indirectly admit to her plagiarism? But she didn't plagiarize. Allegations of plagiarism can be a big deal. Once it's published in the newspaper, it can even affect her education. As Xianxia refuses to leave, Chairman Liu is left with no choice but to call the security. Xianxia is thrown out on the street, still clinging to her luggage. The streetlights are not very bright at this time. It's pitch dark at night. Xianxia sits under the streetlight, sobbing with her head in her hands. When did her life start to take such a dreadful turn? Over the years, all her hard work has paid off and things were beginning to look up. Xianxia was nothing more than a notorious and evil woman. The Li family would never ruin its reputation and destroy its future. Enraged, Xianxia said, Li Yanran, the child in my belly is Tingzi's first baby. If there is any accident, can you bear the responsibility? Who knows whose bastard that is? Li Yanran mocked, Sun Dalian, do you really think you're some sought-after prize? You're nothing but an unwanted rat. Where are the security? Get this woman out of here. Xianxia tried to resist. Li Yanran, how dare you treat me this way? If Tingzi knew about this, he wouldn't let you off. It was unbearable. These people were just unbearable. They dared to treat her like this behind Li Tingzi's back. Hold on. Li Yanran lifted her hand lightly, and the security guards instantly stopped and looked back at her. Li Yanran continued, since you are so longing to see my brother, I will fulfill your wish. Xiaofeng, go upstairs and call my brother down. Yes, miss. Xiaofeng nodded, turned around and climbed up the stairs. Before long, Li Tingji came down from upstairs. Seeing Li Tingji, Li Xianxian's eyes lit up instantly and she rushed to him. Tingji. This time the security guards didn't stop her. Li Xianxian had a belly full of grievances to pour out to Li Tingji. However, Li Tingji swung away Li Xianxian with one hand, shouting angrily, "Get lost! You disgust me!" Li Xianxian was knocked to the ground. She looked at Li Tingji in disbelief and cried out in anguish, "Tingji, don't you recognize me?" Xianxian. Li Tingji never expected that one day he would be deceived so badly by a woman. Everything about Li Xianxian was fake. Her talent was a sham. Chapter 493. Continuous Face Slapping. _5. Her name was a sham. Even her chastity was a sham. For this counterfeit woman, he ended his brotherly friendship with Mo Baichuan that had lasted over 20 years. He was filled with regret. Regret for his poor judgment of character. When Yang had warned him, he should have investigated Li Xianxian thoroughly. If he had shown just a hint of caution towards Li Xianxian, he wouldn't have been deceived so horribly. Now, the mere thought of their one night together made him sick to his stomach. Li Tingji couldn't bear to look at Li Xianxian for a second longer and turned to leave. With her arms crossed and looking down on Li Xianxian, Li Yanran said, "Sun Dalian, are you finally ready to give up now?" Li Xianxian collapsed on the ground, her face deathly pale, clawing at the mud with both hands. It didn't matter if the Li family refused to acknowledge her now. Once she gave birth to the child, they would have no choice but to acknowledge her. Just 9 more months. She would surely make a comeback. Li Xianxian's hand rested on her lower belly, determination flashing in her eyes. Night fell. Li Xianxian spent the night huddled by the roadside. Passers-by who saw her screamed in fright. The shrill sound of ambulance sirens followed soon after. When Li Xianxian woke up again, her vision was filled with white, and the smell of medicine filled her nostrils. Was this the hospital? Why was she in the hospital? At that moment, a sharp pain shot through her abdomen. "You've just come out of surgery, you can't move around." A nurse's voice floated in her ear. Surgery? Li Xianxian looked at the nurse with a face drained of color. "Why did I have surgery?" The nurse said, "You had a miscarriage and have just undergone a dilation and curettage procedure. Do you have any family? They need to come and cover the cost of the surgery and hospitalization." Miscarriage? Li Xianxian grabbed the nurse's arm, her voice frantic. "Why did I miscarry? Where is my child? Give me back my child." She had lost everything now. Her only hope was the child. But now, with her child gone too, what could she use to bind the Li family to her? Was all this just a nightmare? No matter what, Li Xianxian couldn't accept the reality. The nurse said, "Please calm down. You had already miscarried when you were brought in last night." But how could Li Xianxian stay calm? She made a scene, breaking down in tears, completely out of control. "You're all scheming against me. You want to harm me. Give me back my child." Having no other choice, the nurse injected Li Xianxian with a tranquilizer, which finally quieted her. The next day, an article about Li Xianxian plagiarizing from Mo Hudi was published in the newspapers. Just like that, the name Butterfly rocketed to fame in the literary world. Many literati and authors all visited the Mo family to meet this child prodigy. Mo Hudi also enjoys talking to these scholars. Though her physical age is only in her teens, her intellectual age is several times that of an adult. She finds common topics of discussion with these scholars and men of letters. The Mo family elders were both relieved to realize at this point that Li Xianxian had intentionally brought in the divine doctor from Jiangnan to treat Mo Hudi. From the very beginning, she wanted to kill Mo Hudi so she could freely plagiarize Mo Hudi's work. Mo's grandmother regretted it deeply. "I'm sorry, your grandma nearly caused your death. It's like I brought back a venomous snake." Looking back, it's still hair-raising. If Yang had not come to Mo Hudi's rescue at that time, Mo Hudi would already be dead. Thankfully, there was Yang. Mo Hudi, understanding, replied, "Grandma, to err is human. You don't need to blame yourself. Look at me, I am all right now, aren't I?" Mo's grandmother held Mo Hudi so tight, tears streaming down her face. Mo Chishan patted his mother's back. "Mom, it's all in the past. There's no need to be so sad." Wiping the tears from her face, Mo's grandmother said, "Yes, I am not sad. I'm happy. Thankfully we met Yang, otherwise Xiaodai might have been killed by that Sundalian." Chishan nodded. We really need to thank Yang. If it weren't for Yang noticing Xiaodai's talent and reminding me to find a teacher for her, we might still be kept in the dark. Once the issue of plagiarism drags on for a period of time, it becomes difficult to handle. Mo's grandma said, Yang is like a lucky star for our Mo family. Chishan, you can't bully her. If I find you bullying Yang, see if I don't break your legs. Chishan was all smiles. Am I still your son? If you weren't my own son, would you be treated like this? Mo's grandma continued, Chishan, I am not kidding with you. You have to listen to Yang. Do whatever she says. You can't make her mad, got it? Chishan pretended to feel aggrieved. Mom, as a man, I should be standing tall and firm. How can I be controlled by a young girl? Mo's grandmother scolded him. You think you're standing tall and firm? If I tell you to listen to Yang, you listen to her. If you dare to get her mad, don't even think about coming back home. What if she is being unreasonable? Chishan asked. Mo's grandmother snapped back. Yang is such a good girl, how can she be unreasonable? If there's any mistake, it must be yours. Chishan, he must be the picked-up child. Mo's grandfather added from the side, your mother is right, Yang is a good girl, she won't act unreasonably. You should listen to Yang. You are grown up now and you're often so casual, what does that look like? Yang is so outstanding, if you don't buck up, how can you deserve her? Chishan laughed it off, Yang is not so superficial, she likes me the way I am. Not only does Yang like the way he is, she also wants to support him financially. I think you need to be beaten. Mo's grandpa smacked Chishan's leg with his walking stick. The old man was genuinely worried. Seeing that Yang kept getting better, while Chishan remained the same, he was afraid that one day Yang would look down upon Chishan. Chishan jumped and cried out, Dad, you're serious about this? Mo's grandfather said angrily, you think I'm joking with you? If you dare to make Yang angry, this won't be the last time. Then he added, do you have enough money recently? I have plenty, Dad. Chishan replied seriously, you don't have to worry about money. Mo's grandfather didn't quite trust him, as in everyone's eyes, Chishan was just an unemployed person. Your old man won't laugh at you. Are you feeling awkward? His grandfather handed a bank card to Chishan while speaking. Young people dating nowadays need to go out, watch movies and occasionally buy little gifts. Money runs out quickly. Mo's grandfather wouldn't want Chishan to be distressed about money. Our family is rich, no need to feel awkward. The Mo family certainly had more than enough money to support Chishan. Chishan said helplessly, Dad, I really do have money and I have my own business. His grandpa simply didn't believe him. He remembered that Chishan once took the elder members of the family to tour his company base. But both of the elders refused to believe what they saw, insisting that it was a performance set up by Chishan. Chishan was also helpless. You think your old man would laugh at you? His grandfather forcefully handed him the card, just take it. Otherwise it'll break your leg. You're tuning in to the Phantom Sword Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.